This is where it all begins. The game isn't changing. It's being taken over. 4 voices, 4 styles, 1 force you can't control. Where chaos hits harder, truth cuts deeper, and the attitude is everything. This ain't safe. This ain't scripted. And it damn sure ain't for the weak. Tell them, JD.
You're looking at the powerhouse, Headlocks Heels and Havoc. You're looking at the flair of the Nice Guy Andy podcast. And of course, you're looking at the strength of Mayhem Media. From ruthless takes to unfiltered stories, from wrestling chaos to real life battles. We're not here to talk. We're here to take over. Tell him, Johnny Lee.
No filters, no limits. Just straight up chaos. This isn't just another podcast. This is a warning shot. And when the 4 horsemen show up, everything changes. There's no going back after you hear this. Take it away, Uncle Sam.
The horsemen have arrived. You can stand with us, you can get run over. Either way, the takeover has begun. Let's ride.
Welcome to the debut episode of the 4 Horsemen of Podcasting, where 4 forces collide to create something louder, bolder, and more unpredictable than anything you've ever heard before. This isn't just a conversation. This is a takeover. Bringing together the energy of Headlocks Heels and Havoc, the vibe of the Nice Guy Andy podcast, and of course the raw edge of Mayhem Media. This is where opinions hit harder than finishers and no one holds back. Expect heat, expect laughs, expect the unexpected, because when the horsemen ride, everything changes. Strap in. Episode 1 is just the beginning. Welcome, guys, to the debut episode. How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
Doing great.
Guys, tonight we got with us, of course, the 4 horsemen, Superfly Johnny Lee.
That's
We've
right.
got Uncle Slam.
What's up, family?
And the man that's hosting us in his studio, the bad guy, JD.
Hey, yo.
And the newly crowned JJ Dillon of the 4 horsemen, Andrew.
Here, here.
How are you gentlemen doing today?
Cheers, gentlemen. Cheers. This JJ Dillon drinks.
There you go. Guys, today, for the fans out there that don't know, we are going to start today and we are going to decide the greatest world champion of all time throughout 8 different promotions. Those different promotions are going to range from the NWA, WWF, who else do we got here, guys? AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling,
AWA.
AWA, ECW, TNA, and of course, WCW. 8 of the biggest world championship titles that have ever been. So, guys, before we get in deep here and, get to debating the best and the worst, I want to go around and ask everybody their opinion on what exactly do you all feel the makeup of your perfect world champion would be, from every little aspect, being the athleticism of this person, the conversation guy from this guy, the look of this guy, just give us what your ideal world champion would be. And we'll start off with the JJ Dillon of the group, Mr. Andrew.
Well, thank you, guys. Thank you. All right. Well, my world champion, the guy's got to be able to talk. He's got to be able to carry on not so much a conversation, but a promo. He's got to be able to invoke emotions from his promo, emotions from the listening audience, back and forth. Even if he has a mouthpiece like a JJ Dillon, that has to come into play. But the guy's got to be able to do it on his own as well, to an extent. They piggyback off of each other. The looks, not so much, more the charisma than the looks. For instance, Dusty Rhodes, he didn't have the body of anything, but he had the charisma beyond anybody else. So and plus he had probably one of the best talkers in the business. So in my eyes, to be the champion, you have to be able to talk, you have to be able to evoke emotions, and you have to have somewhat of athleticism. Not so much the look, but the in-ring ability to be athletic, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I agree.
And you guys are all speechless. All right, we're done for everybody. All right, good night.
Thanks for joining us for the first episode.
No.
That's great. Yeah. Johnny Lee's up there going, everybody calm down, man. Hold on.
No, I was saying we were waiting for SQ because he's the host.
All
You
right.
finished up what you said. You summarized so perfectly.
I froze.
Yeah, he did.
He froze for the second time.
Hey, when JJ talks, everybody listens. That's all there is.
There you go. See, that's what it was.
we were awestruck. Johnny Lee, give us your take.
Well, if I was going to have a world champion, I want him to have the look of Rick Rude. You know, Rick Rude wasn't the world champion in WWF. He was a world champion elsewhere, so I would want his look. I'd want the technical prowess of Bret Hart. I'd want the ability to talk from Dusty Rhodes. I definitely want a guy that can get up to the top rope and have no trouble jumping off and doing whatever it takes to become a champion again. My perfect champion would have to be all that combined.
Okay.
Uncle Slam?
Let's see. If I was going to build my perfect world champion, I would probably start out with.
There you go.
I'd want somebody that could, like I said, give a great promo, a good talker, but also somebody could make me laugh. I'd probably go with The Rock. I would probably go with the athleticism of like a Sheldon Benjamin, pretty well-rounded. I would want the technical skills of like a Bret Hart, obviously. I'm trying to think. Body-wise, I guess maybe like a Lesnar, somebody like that or whatever, pretty bulky, but, but still, like somebody that looks like a wrestler, but somebody also that get that pop like a Austin or like the Road Warriors and shit when they come to the arena.
Okay. JD?
Sting.
He made it short and sweet. Sting.
Which version of Sting, though? Which version?
That's an interesting question. I think the Crow version of Sting became more of a star. I think he broadened his audience with that. But
I totally disagree.
My favorite was always Surfer Sting. Always blonde haired, Surfer Sting. That's always been my favorite version of Sting.
Yes, I agree with that one. Yes.
My argument to that is the greatest version of Sting was Surfer Sting as far as overall version. Yes, the Crow Sting was innovative, changed things, but it got really old and dull after about 5 years.
Because they fucked up.
The most interesting version of Sting was Joker Sting. If he could have done Joker Sting when he was younger, right after Surfer Sting, would have been 10 times better. But that's just my take. I don't want to get off on that rant, but so that's just it. Sting, you think he had it all?
I guess Sting wasn't like the most technical wrestler like a Bret Hart or Chris Benoit or Dean Malenko or someone like that. So maybe someone that has a little bit more technical wrestling ability, but I do believe Sting had the look. I believe he had the athleticism for sure. And even though I would not rate him as a 10.0 on the mic, like I wouldn't give him a full 10 out of 0 out of 10 on the mic. But he would always every time he would speak, the crowd would react. So even though he didn't really have like a mic gimmick, so to speak, just the way he spoke and the intensity in which he spoke really resonated with the fans. So I'd probably give him like a 7 on the mic, maybe an 8 on the mic. So maybe someone with a little bit better mic skills too than Sting. But I mean, in terms of athleticism, Sting had that, and he had the physique, he had the look. He just maybe a little bit more technical wrestling and a little bit better on the mic. So, like a Chris Benoit or Bret Hart for the technical ability. And I mean, how can you can't beat Ric Flair on the mic.
Right.
No, true.
I mean, Sting was definitely that package that, the WCW needed right after, because they were banking everything on Magnum TA. And after that kind of went south, they were like, okay, well, Sting kind of fell in our hands, and he handled it a lot better than his former tag team partner. I'll tell you that much.
The Dingo Lord.
Sting, yeah, that's what you want. Say what you want about Sting. He may not have been the best in all regards, but he respected the business and he knew how to work in the business.
Oh yeah, yeah.
True.
If I'm gonna go mine, I was thinking about this all day and everything, and I guess I had the luxury of doing that because it's my question. I would go promo skills of Arn Anderson, because he was like a Jake. He didn't have to yell. He didn't have to scream. He just talked and you listened. And just like Andrew said, he invoked that emotion even without yelling or anything. The dignity and respect I would do of like a Harley Race. The style, and by style, I mean just like the way they carry themselves out of the ring with the suits and stuff, of like a Bockwinkel and a Flair. Always in a suit and jacket, looking championship. You know what I'm saying? The athleticism, I know I'm going to catch heat for this, but of HBK, because he could just do any kind of match with anybody.
HBK has some athleticism.
And I would do the technical skill. This one I was kind of torn on, and I'm going to catch some heat for this too. But I would go either Kurt Angle or Bret Hart for technical skill.
Why would you catch heat for that?
I would probably go a little bit more Kurt because he had a little bit more athleticism than Bret, and probably the same amount of technical skill, if not a little bit more. And just because of his amateur background, is the only reason I would give him the big,
I agree.
And the last two things I would put to him would be the brashness of MJF. And I know that I may catch some heat off this, but the charisma of the Ultimate Warrior.
What?
The Warrior sucked as a wrestler, but there is no doubt that man had. We were cheering for a guy that was talking about being run over by lawnmowers for training.
He's got a point on that. It's kind of hard to argue with that.
Somehow we bought it.
His promo was the Ultimate One.
Yeah, but fans liked it. It's just like Sting, though. Like I said, Sting didn't have the greatest, mic skills, but the fans were into everything about his gimmick. And when you have that with the fans, it does make it easier for you on the mic. And certainly it made it easier for Ultimate Warrior.
And when I was thinking about that, the Bobby Heenan's quote came into my mind, which I love Bobby Heenan, but he said, from behind the curtain to when he ran to the ring, he was one of the best characters ever. He said, the second he hit that ring, he looked like a guy that walked out of a Gold's Gym with a can of tuna and seen a W trick go by. I'll be a wrestler.
Yep.
and that was it.
Yep.
So, I mean, that would be my perfect build and everything. But tonight, guys, we are going to, this is a big bracket. We have,
let me show you the big one. I got it for you.
We have 64 champions.
Nice.
In the NWA bracket, we have Harley Race, Trevor Murdoch, Dusty Rhodes, Chris Candido, Lou Thez, Jeff Jarrett, Adam Pearce, and Pat O'Connor. Some of these were voted on, and just to give you an idea, these were voted on, and the ones who got the most tallies got the automatic bids. Everybody else who ended up with just one tally, we put them into a random wheel, spun it, and this is what showed up. So this is what we got.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
When you say they were voted on, by who?
By
us.
Okay.
That was before you. That was before you officially.
That's fine. That's fine. My question was going to be who decided who was going to be in the brackets and not, but you just answered the question. Okay, there you go.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, this is totally ours. This is nobody we got off the internet or anything like that.
4 companies or 8 companies. I'm sorry.
8 companies. Yes. In the AEW bracket, we've got Kenny Omega, John Moxley, MJF, Swerve Strickland, Chris Jericho, Adam Page, Bobby Lashley, and CM Punk. In the AWA, we've got Vern Gagne, Kurt Hennig, Nick Bockwinkel, Rick Martel, Mad Dog Vachon, Larry Zbyszko, The Crusher, and Jerry Lawler. WCW is Sting, Ric Flair, great first-round match. Nash, Booker T, Ron Simmons, Macho Man, DDP, and Luger. Moving over to the other side, we have got Stone Cold Steve Austin, and this is the WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call them. Right, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, John Cena, Bret Hart, The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, and Triple H. That's probably going to be one of my favorite ones to do.
That's one of the ones we're doing tonight. Yes. We're doing the WWE bracket, and we're doing the AEW bracket tonight. That's episode 1.
Yes. And this is, like I said, this is going to be a series. We went with New Japan. We have Okada, Van Vader, Antonio Inoki, Ricky Choshu, Will Ospreay, Tamahashi, Great Muta, Finn Balor. And then we got ECW with Taz, RVD, Sandman, Don Morocco, Terry Funk, Tito Santana, Shane Douglas, and Mike Awesome. And in the TNA bracket, we've got AJ Styles, James Storm, Robert Roode, Santana, Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, and Ken Anderson. Shout out to Ken Anderson. He was just in Richmond, Kentucky last weekend. Thank you for coming to Kentucky. Yes, right. Thank you for coming and visiting AEW too. That was a wonderful show y'all put on.
Okay, another question.
Yes, sir.
So who decided after you decided which wrestler was going to be in there? Who decided to put which 2 together? Did you draw them out of a hat or what?
So what I did was when, like I said, the tally marks, like say if Shawn Michaels got 3 votes, it was totally it wasn't anonymous. They didn't know. They just got them all to me, and I tallied it all up.
Okay.
And I've got all the stuff here too. I promise I didn't cheat. But so what happened was, like, say, we'll go with the WWF. Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, I believe it was Bret Hart. Yes, all the top ones. Michaels, Austin, Bret Hart, and Hogan all got like 2 to 3 tallies, I think it was.
Okay.
And then everybody else got 1.
Gotcha.
So since all the other ones got 1, all the other ones got a top seed. And then, and then I just did that free wheel spin thing, spun it up, and whoever landed is who landed.
Fair enough.
Tried to do it as random and fair as we could.
Oh,
go ahead, JD.
Yeah, we had a commenter, J-Mac. When we were talking about what it take, what they like in a champion. Maybe
Keita. I know Keita. She's a lovely lady. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for being here. She loves Shawn Michaels. That's right. It's because she's a good woman and a smart woman.
So does that mean she also hates Bret Hart?
I don't know. I ain't saying she hates anybody, but she likes Shawn. That's all we need to know. But no,
he's a sexy boy.
Which one do we start?
That's what I was getting ready to ask. I will leave it up to you, gentlemen, on which side we start. Do we want to go with AEW or do we want to go with WWF? I say we should save the best for last.
I would say let the new Horsemen. Let's let the JJ Dillon decide. WWE or AEW first.
Let's start with AEW. We'll save the best for last.
All right. AEW bracket it is. Kenny Omega against John Moxley. That's the first matchup.
Yep. We got MJF versus Swerve Strickland, Chris Jericho versus Hangman Adam Page, Bobby Lashley versus CM Punk. So we will start out. We'll keep the same order. We'll keep the same order, and we will start off with Mr. Andrew, Mr. Dillon. And what do you think as far as the Kenny Omega John Moxley matchup?
Well, if those who watch me, listen to me, and JD knows this, and some of the other guys know this, I don't watch a whole lot of AEW, to be honest with you. So that being said, I like John Moxley. I like his character. He goes a little overboard sometimes, a little goofy sometimes, but I haven't watched enough Omega to know much about him. So just from that aspect, I got to go with the Mox.
All righty, that's one for Mox. Superfly.
Well, when you stack up Moxley versus Kenny Omega, I've been following Kenny Omega for years now. Sure, I could go with the deathmatch guy himself, but Kenny Omega, you just can't beat him. So I'm going to have to go with Kenny Omega.
That's 1-1. Uncle Slam.
Kind of like our JJ Dillon. I don't watch a ton of AEW. I do try to keep up with it, but I don't know a ton about it. But one of the first things I think about when I think about AEW is John Moxley. And his name is always in the headlines. He's always he's one of those people that we've kind of talked about before. Like, he doesn't need a title to be relevant in AEW. I know, like Kenny Omega is a big star and stuff, and they've had a big rivalry. But just because I guess more name recognition, and just because I know a little bit more about John Moxley.
JD.
Well, as the
Did y'all
resident
get that?
AEW, we got it. You're here, Slam. You're here. You broke up a little bit, but we got you. Since I'm I guess the resident AEW professional here, this is a really great matchup. You can't pick a better matchup. Kenny Omega and John Moxley. When I think of AEW, those are the first two names that I think of as the early champions. They were the ones that helped build the company and started out. Without those two guys and Jericho, there is no AEW. So, but as a personal fan, I'm not a Kenny Omega fan. I don't really get the only time I've ever been a Kenny Omega fan was when him and the Young Bucks decided to be heels, because I love booing the crap out of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. I don't like either of them. So I like them as heels because I want to boo them. So as a fan, I'm more of a fan of Moxley, and I'm more of a fan of Moxley in AEW than as Dean Ambrose in WWE. He's had a way better run in AEW. So I'm going to go with Moxley also. J-Mac, what do you think?
Well, I'm one of those people that, I started out watching a lot of AEW, but then I kind of slacked off and everything. I'm not going to lie, because I just got rid of cable, and they just recently got back on HBO and stuff. So, I haven't really kept up with it since doing that. But, of course, I know Moxley from WWE. And a few of these guys and stuff, and I've watched enough of it to see their matches to know who's good and who's not. Kenny Omega is really good. Would I say he's like one of my favorites? No, I'd put him top 30. I wouldn't put him like top 20 or nothing like that. That's just my personal thing. I like Moxley. Moxley's always brings excitement, but again, I agree with Mr. Dillon over here. He sometimes goes a little too far when you're spiking spaghetti into your head and everything, or whatever it is. I can't get down with that. But if for this one, I'm going to have to give it to Mox. So what was the tally?
I'm pretty sure it was Mox, because I think it was 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2 Mox.
Yeah.
No,
I need some
help.
4-1.
4-1.
Oh, was it 4-1? My bad.
4-1.
Yeah, because you chose Moxley.
Yeah.
JD chose Moxley. Andrew chose Moxley, and J-Mac chose Moxley.
You were the
only person that chose Omega, I think.
If you're tuning in right now, make sure you leave a comment. Get in on the
yes. Give us your
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, any insight y'all got and everything, please bring it in. We want to hear, and we will try to get to it and acknowledge your comments too. Well, we want y'all part of the discussion, so come on in.
And it'll be easier. It'll be easier. That's also why you see J-Mac and I kind of stepping on each other's toes a little bit, because he's hosting the episode, but I'm producing the episode. So we're kind of sharing the roles here. So if you leave a comment, I'll be Johnny on the spot with it.
There you go. And I will do my best to see it. If I don't see it, JD will definitely point it out to me so we can acknowledge you. So yes. All righty. Our second matchup in the AEW bracket, it looks like it is going to be Swerve Strickland versus my personal favorite right now in wrestling, MJF. Mr. Dillon.
I don't get Swerve Strickland. I don't get it. And even now that he's in the other league as Rice, whatever, I don't get it. I don't get the allure. And up until recently, I would say I was an MJF fan, but when they started doing all the crazy stuff, with the breaking of the glass and the windows and the mirrors over the head of the last match he had, well, I guess 2 matches ago, I didn't care for that much. But if I throw that away and think of what has done in the past, there's no question it's MJF, because I don't get Strickland at all. I don't understand that character.
Just wait till it comes around to me. I'll explain it to you.
Okay. I'm sticking with MJF though.
Can I just say though that when Mr. Dillon was sitting there saying that and he said, I don't get it, all I seen was Tom Hanks and Big with the robot going, I don't get it.
I don't get
it, man.
I feel the same way about CM Punk, so I know exactly how you feel.
Well, you're wrong with CM Punk. That's all I got to say. But
you're wrong about Strickland. That's all.
And like you said, it's okay to be wrong sometimes, JD. So just own it and walk away.
Right. Well, you are the resident expert on that, pal.
There you go. All righty, Superfly. Who you got?
Well, I know a lot about Swerve Strickland. I know that he's really good. He's athletic as fuck. He can do deathmatch wrestling. But my boy NJF has been killing it for a long time at the heel road. And he's been a real good AEW champion. So I'm going to have to go with MJF.
That's 2 MJFs. Uncle Slam.
All right, like I said, I don't know a ton about AEW, but what little I do know is kind of what you kind of turned me on, especially about like MJF. I know he's a multiple champion. He's won it a couple times. I know he had a reign. I think it was like maybe 400 days. I love his promos and shit. He stays in character 24/7. I just don't know Strickland to say much, honestly. So I got to give it to MJF just because I know more. I guess it's more name recognition than anything. So, like I said, like MJF. Turn this off.
All right. Where are we at? Are we good?
You, JD.
Your turn.
Okay, yeah. Where are you? I didn't know if you was done yet.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I was turning off my ringer and shit.
Oh, you're good. You're good. JD.
I just updated our layout, so if all of our screens just turned around, that's why. I think this looks a little bit better with the 5 of us, and especially with JJ Dillon in the middle, although he hates that.
There you go.
I don't like that.
Listen, it's a great matchup. And you don't get it about Swerve Strickland, and I understand that. I wasn't a big Swerve Strickland fan when I first started watching AEW until when he started doing his whole thing with Keith Lee. I started becoming a fan, and then when he broke off from him, and he started getting like he was like a face, but he's like a hard-nosed face, like almost like a John Moxley, but not to the extreme hardcore. So that's why I think he resonates with a lot of fans, because he goes out there and he'll just work hard. He works hard in his matches. He goes hard in all of his matches. He's out there to entertain. And I think that's why a lot of people really like Swerve Strickland. I would love to be able to cast my vote for Swerve Strickland. That's where I want, as a fan, that's where I want my vote to go. I'm a huge Swerve Strickland fan. But if there's one person that I'm probably more a fan of in AEW than Swerve Strickland would probably be Maxwell Jacob Friedman. So I would also going to have to cast my vote to MJF because he is the whole package and he is going to be a champion. I don't care in what company he's in for the next 20 years if he wants to be. He might be one of those guys that can become an actor, though, and takes it to Hollywood, kind of like The Rock. The Rock kind of transitioned away from wrestling before he was actually, reached the end of his wrestling career. He started acting. So I think MJF has potential to go do something like that as well. But I think if not, if he chooses to stay a wrestler, we'll be talking about MJF for the next 20 years.
Exactly.
Well, regardless of anything I say, MJF has moved on to the next round. So it doesn't matter what I say. I was just going to be silent anyway and just.
At least you don't got to worry about getting a syringe to your mouth now.
Right. Man, that I can't get into though. That's the stuff that JJ was talking about. It's just a little too much.
Yep.
Yeah, I do agree. They do go. Listen, those matches have their place. Okay, those kinds of matches do have their place. But I don't know if it was right there at that moment, or like, you know what I mean? I don't think that warranted. I don't think that was the right situation to have that kind of match. And MJF does not strike me as that. I don't know why they're trying to, maybe unless it's on him, maybe he wants to try and get more hardcore, but MJF doesn't strike me as the hardcore type. That's Moxley's gimmick. That's Moxley. Moxley puts pins.
That's what Moxley does 24/7. It's death matching.
Yeah, that's Moxley. That's not really MJF's whole thing. I see him as more, the Flair dressed in the robe, willing to get bloody if necessary, but that's not going to be where he goes. So,
and also, if you think about it, the Texas Death Match doesn't really feature that much death matching to it. It still features a heavily influenced, more traditional wrestling than does the death match aspect, but they brought in complete death match wrestling, and that's where the syringe came into play.
I think people would be, and I don't want to get off too much of the subject and everything, but I think people nowadays would be more inclined to watch a late 90s, early 2000s hardcore match and be just as satisfied with the toned down headshots and stuff, of course, and be just as satisfied as they would watching somebody put a syringe through somebody's jaw.
Yeah, I don't think they have to go hardcore. I would agree with that. There's no reason to go hardcore anymore.
Yeah, that's just shock factor right there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what put ECW on the map, but it's also what made ECW have to close its doors because it was on the map. And I hate to say that.
I thought Darby going off at Sting's final match last year at Arch. I thought him going off the ladder through the glass pane and having his whole side cut up was extreme. So I didn't see the match that Andrew's talking about, but I did see clips and replays of it, and it's even more horrific than that. And I didn't know that was going to be possible. So they do go too hard sometimes, yeah.
And I don't think that they realize it.
No. All righty. Our next matchup is going to be the Lionheart, whatever you want to call him. He's got about 2 names now. Chris Jericho versus Hangman Adam Page.
The demo god.
We will start with Mr. Dillon again.
This one, for me, I got to go with Jericho. I mean, the experience alone, the knowledge that he brings has got to be above everybody else on there. I mean, he's been wrestling since the late 80s, early 90s. Basically all over the world. And
late 80s, yeah.
I think he started in Mexico, I do believe. I could be wrong with that, but I think he started in Mexico.
Mexico,
Japan. He's been everywhere. And just from the experience alone, I got to put him above. Who's he? Adam Page.
I'm sorry, Adam Page. Let me put it up again.
I got to put him above. So I'm going with Jericho on this one.
All righty, Superfly.
Okay, so I know Hangman Page has been AEW champion. It was okay, but Chris Jericho's popularity when he held the title can't be matched. I'm going to have to go with Chris Jericho strictly because he was the better AEW champion.
Uncle Slam.
I guess I'm gonna have to kind of go with everybody else on this. I'm gonna go with Jericho. I think he was the first heavyweight champ. Plus, I think him being there actually gave him some credibility. Credibility as far as organization, just because he was such a big name and he's WCW, WWE, and then when he went to AEW. So I don't think they would be where they were at if he hadn't showed up. So I'm going to go with Jericho on this.
JD.
Yeah, I'm also going to have to go with Jericho on this. I think pretty sure it's going to be a unanimous vote. I think Hangman Adam Page is great, and he was a good guy to have at the right time in AEW's history. You know what I mean? It was great that he got a world title shot, and it puts him in the conversation and potential for another world title shot because he did do a good job while he was the champion. But as an AEW fan, I was not the biggest fan of him holding the championship. I just wasn't. I like Hangman Adam Page, but I'm not a humongous fan of his. So I think he's just, he can be around the world title shot and, maybe get another reign or two, maybe, but he's just not somebody. He's not the Jericho. He's not the MJF. He's not the superstar. So I'm going to definitely have to go with Chris Jericho on this because obviously, again, he's one of those founders of AEW. Adam Page was also, but Jericho is just, he's got more of that star quality. He's done more. So I would go with Jericho.
My 2 points. Well, it is.
I'm sorry.
It is, regardless of what I say. It's even if I went against the grain, it'd be 4 against 1. But the only 2 points I'm going to say is that Adam Page, you were making the point for me, JD. I feel like Adam Page is good to be around the title, like an Edge, but he doesn't always have to have the title because he's just not that relevant. He's relevant enough to hold it and be a good bad guy for a little bit, but he's not, top tier relevant,
Better at chasing it.
Yes. I don't think because of the way AEW pigeonholed themselves with Rhodes and him not ever being able to win the title, that was Rhodes' decision. He was
I
know, but they pigeonholed themselves. I don't care whose decision it was. It was a stupid decision. So because of that, if it wasn't for Jericho, we probably wouldn't be talking about AEW.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Jericho full sweep.
5-0.
Oops, that's the wrong side. There we go.
All righty. The next match in the first and the last match in the first round is going to be Bobby Lashley versus CM Punk, JD's favorite wrestler of all time.
I think you might have a problem. Was Bobby Lashley a champion, a world champion?
He was never AEW.
Not in AEW. No, not that I know of. He should be. He should have been.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I just realized that I think you have a problem.
Let me look. I may have wrote the wrong name down.
I think is it supposed to be no. You have Samoa Joe somewhere else.
Hold on. I have all the tallies right here.
I don't know how that happened. I want everybody to understand that
between the AEW World Champion because he's never held the AEW Champion.
Between Johnny Lee, myself, and J-Mac, we have spent hours putting this entire bracket and everything together. So if there's an error on this, it's on because all freaking 3 of us missed it.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. But that's not our fault. We were busy focusing and trying to get ready, and we completely missed that Bobby Lashley snuck onto the list.
Yes, we did.
Because I know he was a WWE champ.
Yeah, he's not in a. I don't have him on the list here in the AEW. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, who? Joe Mox? No, because
Brian Danielson. That's who it should be. Brian Danielson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Should be.
Okay.
See,
I can see how you get those two mixed up because they are very similar people.
Who, Lashley? No. What it is the name. I wrote the wrong name down when I spun the wheel because Lashley is in the next row over in TNA, and he just didn't make it. I don't know what happened there. I
Yeah, I knew
apologize,
something
people.
happened. We had Brian Danielson during the bracket choice. How did Bob
Yeah.
Lashley sneak onto that list?
Brian Danielson's name is down there, and he's only got one. But I didn't think it's my error. I wrote something down wrong. I apologize,
Bobby, you are a
everybody.
thief.
I know it. So we're
You know
gonna
what happened?
reset
You
that
attacked
one.
Brian Danielson.
Brian Danielson
Mr.
versus
CM Punk. Okay.
CM Punk. I apologize, everybody, for them. Look at let the comments roll in. JJ, I will let you take that one.
Are we here?
I don't think he heard you.
Andrew?
What?
Hey,
Brian,
coach,
he
you
missed
to
something.
give your answer either.
It's
Brian
not Bobby
Danielson
Lashley. It's
or
Brian.
It's not Bobby
Danielson
Lashley. Brian Danielson.
Really? Really?
against
Yes.
CM Punk.
CM Punk.
Whoa, that was quick.
Superfly.
CM Punk.
Well,
It's okay.
But-
We'll just say
but-
Tony Khan
but
put
let
who
me
he
throw
won
this-
in
let me
there.
Throw this in there. If you put the two wives next to each other, AJ Lee and is it Brie Bella? If you get them both naked, then we have a whole another. thing to
That's
look
a
at
better
there.
matchup.
Yeah. I might have to go with Danielson on that one.
well,
Who
I
you got,
think-
Superfly?
purely going off AEW champions, I didn't really like Brian Danielson's reign because they didn't do a whole lot with it. CM Punk, on the other hand, he consistently was putting on matches with good wrestlers like MJF. So I'm going to have to go with CM Punk. Even though I don't want to, I feel like he had the better reign.
All right, so we got 2 CM Punks, 0 Brian Danielson, Uncle Slam, or Daniel Bryan, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. This is kind of easy. Like, I've never really liked Daniel Bryan. Honestly, I didn't like him WWE/F. I really didn't care for him in AEW. I'm not a huge CM Punk fan either and stuff. Like, I mean, he's all right. I mean, I respect him, especially more of his time in ECW. But I guess if I had to choose, I'd probably say CM Punk, honestly. Like, I'm not a huge fan of either one, to be honest.
I don't even think we need to ask JD, but we're going to go through the formalities.
Yeah, I'm also not necessarily the biggest fan of either one, but I'm absolutely not casting a vote for CM Punk.
I kind of knew that was going to happen for some way.
CM Punk must have pissed in his Cheerios.
I don't get it.
He's straight edge, brother.
Well,
That's
I know that was coming.
Yeah,
here's what I'm going to say. I
Yeah.
don't really care for either one of these
the
fellas.
straight edge is a scimitar.
To be honest with you, I've never been a huge fan of either one. So just
Same.
because JD is a Bret Hart fan, I'm voting for CM Punk.
That's all right. You're gonna have the same problems when we get to WWE, my friend. You think I'm
That's
casting
all
a
right.
vote for? You think I'm casting a
That's
vote
all
for
right.
Michaels?
That's all right. I still may have two. I
JD's
still may
phone
have
is
two others. I still may have 2 other votes, enough to get him through.
Listen, I don't care if Punk gets it past the first round, but if he goes further than that, then people are stacking the deck intentionally just because
Let's
they know I
see.
hate CM Punk.
Oh, CM Punk against Jericho, man.
Wait a second.
I
Hold on a second.
I think
Wait a
Punk's got it,
second.
man. No, I'm just
yeah. That's
Who
what
are
I'm
you
saying.
smoking?
If we start getting off the wall like that, I'll jump out this window right
because-
here.
Hold up.
Okay,
Nah.
hold on a
CM
second.
Punk
Hold
still
on a
has the
second.
AEW
Hold on.
championship.
Andrew.
Let Andrew say something.
Okay, and I understand if you don't like Punk, I get it. I get it, JD. Okay. But if you say the deck is stacked because we like Punk and you don't, because you hate him, can't we say it the other way as well? If everybody hated him, couldn't
No.
the deck be stacked that way as well?
I think that if you were trying to make an argument for Punk to be the greatest AEW champion, it fails after this round. I think
He's one of
there's
the only
a
multiple
clear-
champions.
speaking completely objectively, there is an argument to be made for Punk over Danielson. I will admit that. Okay.
Okay.
It's not like Danielson brought a whole lot to the AEW World Championship. I don't think that he really did. I think he got an honorary reign.
Well, hold on. Let's save that for the
career.
end. Let's save that for the last argument.
Let's save that for next round then. Okay. Save it.
Yeah. Let's save that for the finals because we're going to get to the finals. So if they,
I do think there's arguments to be made, but if it goes further than this, then shenanigans and heresy.
All right. So
I don't know who he's against, so we'll have to see who he's against. So there you go.
Are we going over to WWF now, or are we going to go ahead and finish out AEW?
I figured we finish out AEW.
All right, that works. That's what we'll do. Then I just wanted to make sure everybody was on board and everything.
Yep.
So in the I already know in the next round we have got Jon Moxley versus MJF. Andrew.
This is the next round of the brackets, everybody. Make sure you're leaving a comment for those viewers out there if you'd
Look,
like to.
he gonna change MJF to Swerve.
Yeah, you gotta.
Oh,
get out of here.
What the hell did I do that, man? That's what I told you, dude. Talking and doing this at the same time.
You're the only one that voted for Swerve. You realize that, don't you?
I didn't vote for Swerve. I voted for MJF.
I know. I'm just messing with you, man.
All right.
I know how much you love Swerve Strickland.
Damn, Maxwell Jacob Friedman became Swerve Strickland.
I know it. Well, I mean, to be fair, Bobby Lashley became Bryan Danielson. So, things happen, man.
It's all defense, and Jeff got attacked by Swerve Strickland, and Bob Lashley took out Danny Bryan.
Right. That's what happened. All right.
He's still mad because his nickname is for kissing on his girl.
While he's fixing that, let me go ahead and speak my piece here.
Yes, go ahead.
The current versions of Jon Moxley and MJF, I do not like either one of them. The former versions of Jon Moxley and MJF, I liked both of them. Again, I am not a hardcore AEW fan. That being said, as much as I like Moxley, I have to go with the former version of MJF. So I get my votes for MJF.
All right, we got one for MJF, Superfly.
I'm inside the same boat. I like Jon Moxley. But if you look at their reigns, you start to see the cogs going. You realize MJF had the better title reign than he did. Moxley set the precedent, but MJF came in and said, I'm kicking this sumbitch down. So my vote was for MJF.
All righty, 2-0 MJF, Uncle Slam.
Like I said, I don't know a ton about AEW, but what I do know is both of them, I'm pretty sure, were multiple world champs, at least twice or whatever. Yeah. I think, let's see, one had, I think MJF reign was like 406 days. I think Moxley was like 600, around 600 something.
Yes,
so
huge reigns. Yeah.
Long reigns, big names. As much as I like MJF, I'm going to have to give it to Moxley just because I think it's just more name recognition. Don't get me wrong. Like, I do like MJF. I don't know the new and old like y'all did just because I haven't really fought. I just know what they are now.
Yeah.
And Moxley, to me, is like he's just more interesting to me just because I'm more of an ECW fan. Yeah. So I like, the death matches. I like all of the kind of, I don't want to say gore, but I like the, like the stranger matches or whatever. But I love to hear like MJF talk. I think he's one of the best on the mic, but I got to give it to Moxley on this one just because I think he's more AEW.
Yeah. All right, we got 2-1 for Mox or 2-1.
Hey guys, I got to split for like 60 seconds. I'll be right back.
No problem, man.
That's fine.
We'll be here. And it's a long episode, so some of us might need to rotate in and out. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah.
Is it my turn, Jay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I'll talk for a second since he had.
We're 2-1.
Yeah. Listen, I love, and I want to be able to say, Jon Moxley, because that's how the announcers always say when they introduce them.
Yeah.
It's one of the coolest intros that AEW has. I love that the announcer always just throws everything into his name. I love that. But he's not. I'm sorry. MJF is going. I think I might be thinking more about potential here, more than who maybe is the better world champion. But I think MJF is going to be, and I think he has been. I think he has more skills than Jon Moxley. I think Jon Moxley is a great brawler. He's a great fighter. He puts on great matches in the ring. I've never ever been bored by whenever he's doing a match. Okay, I've never been bored. But MJF, man, I think he's got everything, and he can put on a damn good match too. So I'm gonna go MJF.
So we're 3-1 MJF. So MJF is already in the second round or next round, third round that is. He just made it to the finals of the AEW, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's, I'll hold this up. I don't need to say nothing else. So go ahead and put him on. I don't know if y'all see that shit. MJF. My green screen was interfering with my signage here. So, like I got my hands now, but it just couldn't pick up the sign. MJF's got it all day long.
Absolutely. All right.
Don't know. Hey, promise, man. Nobody's going to come over here and like Jey Uso me, man, and like pull me over the counter or nothing, man.
You know what?
Promise.
Can't make promises like that.
Depend on your next vote, J-Mac. I guess that'll depend on your next vote.
Uncle Sam's going to come do it because he's closer to you.
Yeah, Uncle Slam. We're Bret Hart fans. I'll send him over there if you don't vote right here right now. So you better.
So I ain't got to be here, Oos. I ain't got to be here.
Come on, Oos.
He said, man, that's cool. I'm gonna split then.
I'm gonna throw this weak punch, Oos.
I know it was so sad too. Like that's all that stuff. Like,
not real. If it was real,
yeah.
If
they want me to believe that's real, why did he
completely
do
terrible?
A full-on perfect punch like he should have instead he throw a working weak punch?
Yeah.
All righty.
Jericho and Punk.
Yeah, we got Jericho versus CM Punk. We are going to go to Andrew. Who you got?
Well, first of all, let me say this first.
How honest you're going to be, Andrew.
Let me say this
Andrew,
first.
Andrew, Chloe says hello.
Hi, Chloe. Nice to meet you, Chloe.
Sorry.
I'll say this first and then let me finish before you all jump on me, okay?
Well, do your thing.
In Punk, we trust, okay? That being said, as far as a champion in AEW, I don't think he should be in the realm of a Jericho or an MJF just for the fact of longevity. Okay? That ability-wise, he'll put them both to shame on the mic and everything else. Longevity, I don't think so. So my vote, as much as I hate to say this, is going to go for Jericho.
At least you're honest. At least you're being honest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Even
I
if some
don't
of
even
what
got
you said is
debated. Mine is Chris Jericho.
All righty. He said that was simple, Chris Jericho. All righty, Uncle Slam.
I'm kind of gonna have to follow the lead. I think Jericho meant more to AEW than the other guy. Than CM Punk. I think he's just more impactful. He brought more. Like he's just a bigger star there. Now, like if we were talking like another organization, it might be different. It might be CM Punk, but if we're talking like AEW, Chris Jericho is AEW.
I just want to point out to everybody that because of the voting progress, CM Punk only made it to the AEW bracket. So he wasn't even considered by this group of people, with the exception of Andrew, who didn't get to vote in the whole thing. He didn't get voted in any other company.
Oh, nobody put him in ECW?
No, that's why that's why he's in AEW. He didn't get voted in anywhere else. So
oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, but
no one selected him.
But we'll get to that here in a second. We want to go down
later on. That's cool.
Oh yeah,
you can get to that later on. But I want to make sure it's clear to all our viewers that CM Punk ended up on AEW.
Wow.
Voted in anywhere else.
Yeah, I figured he'd at least be
all these CM Punk fans.
But remember, you guys also voted in Lashley, who wasn't even a champion. So there you go.
Right. So
I don't want to hear it. Okay.
Hey, this is why we needed JJ in the beginning. You all, I tried to tell you.
I know.
All righty, guys. So the next.
So listen, it's easy to make a pick when you don't have an opponent. So Chris Jericho.
All righty. So I'm pretty sure everybody's going to agree it's Jericho, and everybody else has pretty much made my point. If we had put Punk in like ECW or WWE, I think he would have gotten a little farther, maybe. But the reasoning is because those companies are just a little bit more deep than AEW is.
Oh, I agree.
You see what I'm saying? So there was so much more to pick from. So he was at the top of that.
CM Punk doesn't make the list if AEW has 12 champions. CM
That's
Punk doesn't make the list.
I think he would make the list before he would make WWE or ECW or WCW.
Wait till we get to WWF.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, let's wait till we get there.
Blow that argument out of the water when we get to WWF, my friend.
I love it. Let's do it. This is the point of this show. This is what I love. Okay, guys. I love these shows for this. I love debate shows and everything. All righty.
Let me get the next. Let me get the finals here uploaded.
I believe the finals is going to be MJF and Chris Jericho, correct?
Yep. And you couldn't have asked for a better. You really couldn't have asked for a better ending to AEW's bracket than that.
So we are going to start with the man himself, Andrew JJ Dillon.
Jeez. This one's tough. Because my heart goes with Jericho because he's an old man like me. MJF is I don't want to say he's the heart of the company because you can make that argument for both of them. Again, I'm not a hardcore AEW fan at all, so I could be talking out my rear end on this.
No, you are. I mean, you're right. No, you're right. What you're saying is correct.
Okay. They've both been in for the life of the company, correct?
Yes. Jericho even did not go to WWE when his contract ran out like everybody thought. Everybody thought Jericho was the big reveal at WrestleMania, and he ended up staying with AEW.
Yeah, okay. So they both have run the life of the company. They're both together. I think, wasn't Jericho one of the founders of the company along with Cody?
Yeah, no, he wasn't an EVP. Yeah, he wasn't an EVP, but he was among the first to sign with
So he was since the beginning. Mike skills, I think they're equal in the fact that they can ad lib with the best of them.
Yes, they can.
MJF has a little bit more mic skills just for the fact that he gets more mic time because Jericho takes a lot of time off to go on his rock and roll tours and stuff of that sort, which is fine. I have nothing. No, that's not a knock on him. This one's tough. So I got to go with the heel MJF. When he's a baby face, I didn't like him too much. A heel MJF, I got to go with him. So my vote's MJF.
MJF, Superfly.
When you look at it like this, Chris Jericho was what they needed at the time when he became the first AEW champion. He was good. But then MJF came in. And when he got the title, I feel like he elevated a whole lot more than Jericho did because by that time, Jericho's waning down. So I'm going to have to go with MJF because he stayed consistent.
Uncle Slam?
I'm going to make this short and sweet. I look at it as like Jericho is the past, MJF is the future. So I'm going to go with MJF. Like, I believe, like, they're both great on the mic. I think they're both tremendous wrestlers. Like I said, I just feel like MJF is the future. Chris Jericho was the past. He was great when they needed him, but now there's a new person in town, and I think that's MJF.
Just to get a count, what did Andrew say again?
MJF.
And so we got MJF and you, Superfly? Just
MJF.
to clarify. So we got a sweep right now with MJF 3-0. He's pretty much on to the finals, or he is pretty much the champion in this bracket. So, but bad guy, what's your take? You're muted, sir. You are so muted, it ain't funny.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Sorry, I had a cough and I didn't want to blow out Uncle Slam while he was talking. But
don't blow out Uncle Slam ever.
Yeah.
Please.
Listen, I'm going to definitely go with MJF because I think he is going to be the bigger champion, even if he's not considered that already. I think I agree with everybody else's point. Jericho was the guy that they needed at that time. But now, do you see Jericho back in the world title picture? Yeah, I think he has the capability, but I don't see him with another long run. I don't see Jericho with a 600 or a 400-day reign like MJF and Moxley and others have gotten. So I think Jericho's likely, I think he's probably on his last contract, on his last wrestling contract, and he's finishing it in AEW, and he's likely to get the world title one more time. So, but my pick will have to be for MJF. I do think he is going to be the one that carries the torch and carries it better for the company than Jericho will beyond what he's already done.
So that's 4 for MJF. I mean, that's who I'm going to pick too. And you didn't miss anything, Andrew. JD was just blowing Uncle Slam out and stuff. So.
He huffed, he blowed, and he coughed him out.
Nobody's doing anything Uncle Slam.
I
had a domestic issue. I have a washer issue going
clarify
on.
That shit.
It's okay. I mean, he was just telling us that he muted himself because he had a cough and he didn't want to blow Uncle Slam out. So I told him, please don't ever do that. But no, yeah, it's a clean sweep for old MJF, man. That's it.
Well, Jacob Friedman.
Yep.
Does everybody agree that he is the greatest AEW champ? Like, would y'all change anything on this?
No.
Yes, I would take CM Punk off the list.
He is the greatest.
I'd take CM Punk off. I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait a minute. I would take CM Punk off the list, and I would fix our our technical error of having Bobby Lashley at all.
Why
Those are the two things I would fix.
My question is, so why didn't you guys vote Cody in on that one? Wasn't he the first champion?
Nope.
No, Cody was never an AEW champion.
He got himself into a situation where he couldn't be the world champion.
Oh, okay.
Cody was like,
that's why I was talking about he pigeonholed himself. So
yeah,
that puts Jericho up there. You know, it's hard to.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So as of right now, we have got MJF as the all-time AEW world champion, as voted on by the Four Horsemen. Yeah, Uncle Sam, go ahead.
Just a quick question for the group or whatever. If it wasn't MJF, who would you put instead?
Jericho
or Moxley?
Well, Jericho, obviously, duh.
See, I would say Moxley. I would put Moxley if it wasn't.
Jericho is AEW right now. Jericho is to AEW what Hogan was to the WWF.
See, I feel like Moxley is, in my opinion.
I think Moxley is too. I think they both kind of have that role. Yeah, I agree.
I don't. Jericho's been there since the get.
Yeah, Moxley was a later get. He wasn't right at the beginning, but he was
okay. Put it this way.
Far out.
Put it this way. John Moxley, with everything that Jericho has done with the world title just in AEW.
But
hold on. Let me finish. John Moxley, with everything with the catalog that Jericho has in AEW, is the AEW title as legit?
Actually, just looking over this, I would have liked to change. I would definitely go with Moxley, actually, because Jericho is only the first champion. That's it. That's his only reign.
Yeah.
Moxley is a 4-time AEW champion, and his longest reign was 277 days, which is 95 days longer than Jericho's original reign. So I would choose Moxley because he's had more reigns and he's had more days as the champion. I agree with you.
Reigns don't always mean better, though.
No, but I agree with you about Jericho being like, I agree, like he's the Undertaker of AEW. Like I think he's kind of like he helps a lot with the locker room. I think he's a leader backstage. I do believe that he is an AEW leader, but I would not classify him as a better champion than Moxley in the AEW.
Okay. Well, you hear it here, guys. Are we ready to? I was going to say, are we ready to go on over to the WWF side of everything?
That's right.
Does anybody have to take a break, a drink?
I'm good.
I don't. I'm used to the 2-hour format.
I'll take a drink break. Here you go.
All right. Well, I might step in for just a second because I do not have a drink at my computer because I'm not going to spill my drink on my brand new shiny computer. So drinks aren't allowed.
That's why God invented straws.
Drinks aren't allowed within 10 yards of this desk.
They make long straws.
That's right.
I don't like long straws.
Very
I don't like long straws. I drink everything out of a straw. Why do I need it to be longer? Why do I want to have to do more work?
No, I'm just trying to help you out, brother. That's all.
Solutions oriented.
If it's
That's
long,
right.
I don't need a
Solutions.
solution. I can just step
far
away
away
for
from
a
your
second.
computer,
It's good. J-Max, the
take the
host.
straw
here.
and just have it.
What'd you say, Johnny Lee?
All it's got to do is get the drink, have the straw long as fuck, put the drink all the way away from his computer, have that straw right there where you just sip on it.
No.
Hey, I can also buy this stuff, but I make it. So I mean, I know a friend who makes it. That's what I meant. Yeah,
There you go.
Hey, I'm
A
also
cousin's uncle's second.
that's
other-
right.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
you feeling
Yeah.
good? Jay?
Roommate's nephew.
I lead a lonely life, guys.
Trust me. I get it. Me, myself, and I.
If we ever are all in the same room together, I will get my friend to provide you all with at least one bottle of something if you guys want it.
Okay. Yes.
My
Only
kind
one guy said yes. Okay, one bottle it is. Then okay, good.
I shook
Right.
my
See,
head.
I'll-
I mean, I'll have a sip. I'll have a couple.
I'm an
I'll have
easy
a couple of
sell.
sips, but I'm not a big drinker. I mean, you have whiskey in that, Andrew? Is that what you have, right?
It ain't apple
Sure,
juice.
yeah, that works. Yes.
Normally it's whiskey.
It's whiskey and pop.
Your show is popcorn and whiskey, so normally you're drinking whiskey.
Yeah,
right?
it's a version of whiskey. Yes.
If I drink, if that was whiskey in his glass and I drank that whole glass, you'd have to be picking me up off the floor.
Oh yeah, you'll be knocked out. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll be dead.
Yeah.
So that's why. I mean, I'm not a drinker. So anything more than like a shot, if you're talking about liquor, if I do more than a shot, I'm gonna love and hate all of you.
It's gonna be a real love-hate relationship.
Yeah. So
All righty,
we'll
ladies
hug it
and
out, brother.
gentlemen.
We'll hug it out anytime. No problem.
There you go. That's it.
the problem is
peace,
I want
love.
to hug you and punch you at the same time.
Look at
though.
that
That's-
bracket, though.
All righty. Over on the WWF side, we have got the first round of Jacob.
These are great matchups, by the way. I just want to
Wolfman
say
in the
that.
house.
I
How?
want to point out something here. Of all the people you have on here, the only one who is in the top 10 of the longest days reigns of champion is Hogan. And he's number 9. So you guys don't have any of the greats in there at all.
I just don't think the top, like the longest reigns. Before we get into this, let's have this argument here. You know,
Yeah.
Before we get into it,
Roman Reigns, I don't care how long the company let him keep the belt.
it's not even that because you got Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Bruno's the longest one. He's got what? 2,000 or something.
I'm looking at it right now. Bruno, 2,803 days.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Now, he was before my time. I was not even like I was
That's
not.
what I mean.
even
So you
thought
guys
about
are
him.
more. You're a lot younger than I am. I'm sure I'm the oldest one here. So you guys are going with the youngest, like from the 90s forward.
I mean, I tried,
80s, 90s.
I tried to go back further, but
You guys don't have any. Well, you have Hogan. Yeah, so 80s. Yeah, it's Hogan.
I started right at the end of Bruno's career.
and it's also the greatest champion.
I remember the end of his career and
I mean,
everything.
put that list back up here. Let me see that list again.
Yeah, my thing is that Bruno Sammartino, that's a great title run and stuff, but it happened when wrestling wasn't what it is in the 90s,
Right.
2000s.
Okay, all right.
I
In that
think
argument, Brock isn't up there. Brock Lesnar.
No, you're right. I wouldn't
Brock
probably
be there.
put Brock on that list either. I wouldn't even vote. No, probably not.
Why not? See, I would. Brock is no brainer for me in that list.
If we're
That's
talking,
interesting.
why is it someone with a long ass reign
That's
on
what
the
we
list? You gotta think. Most of the time when they were having long ass reigns, they wasn't defending the title. So
That's why I
should
would
they
not
care?
vote.
Because they were holding that title long.
That's why I wouldn't vote for Roman Reigns because he defended the belt once a month. I didn't vote for Hogan. I just want to point that out. Hogan wouldn't even be on that list if it was.
And the
my
reason why
list.
I don't set Brock Lesnar on the list is because what did he actually do with the title? Did he elevate it? No.
I see. I
It was
think he did.
respectable, sure.
Absolutely, he did.
I think if Brock had better mic skills, like if he didn't have Paul Heyman, it might be a different story. But where that kind of handicapped him, that was the only. I mean, because he was dominant in his time or whatever.
That's why he had Heyman, because of his lack of mic skills.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. Yeah.
But I don't think that was so much of a handicap for Brock because he didn't have to talk.
Right.
I mean, he talked about fucking someone.
What does he need? You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to go out here and pick you up and sling you into the third row.
See, now you
Stop
can say
that. Yeah, I can talk all I want to, but I want you to stop me from picking you up and throwing you anytime I want to. You see what I'm saying? That he didn't need to talk.
Yeah.
That's
I see
I see what Andrew's saying about Brock. And yeah, I guess he should. You know, he's
And
somebody
Andrew,
to argue that could be on the list.
Again,
we could have had Andrew
you
help
put
us
10
put
other
this
people
together.
on here. They're going to give you 10 other answers. So
Oh,
the
right.
list is for you four. Keep that in mind. I'm just the guy that comes in here that's going to be the devil's advocate, so to speak.
Right,
So
you're
that's all.
analyzing our picks.
Yeah, I'm analyzing your picks, which
Yeah.
because this is your show. I'm just the honored guest to be on here. So
No, but
Well,
we
the
should have
next
had your
time-
picks. We should have brought you
Yes.
in before we had the picks because you would have provided much better ones than we gotten from. That's not important.
Well, not
That's
even
for sure.
much better.
Yes, I
Not
would have.
even- Well, not even much better, but it would have been a little bit more diverse because he would have been pulling out people that, like, he
weren't
may
thinking of.
pull out a San Martino,
Yeah, that's right.
a Pedro Morales,
Please
or
San
something
Martino.
like that,
okay.
But yeah, all righty. So let's
Have
get
somebody
to
else
it.
start this round. Have somebody else start.
Yeah, we'll go backwards this time. We'll start with JD.
All right. We got Stone
all
Cold
right.
and
Stone Cold and Austin. No, The Rock. I said Stone Cold and
Stone Cold and
Austin.
Austin, yeah.
Stone Cold and Rock.
Stone Cold and The
Sorry,
Rock.
sorry.
I mean, that's a great matchup. I mean, that's a classic matchup. That could be the finals right there for the WWE, in my opinion, the two biggest
This
guys
whole
of the
bracket
mid to
could
late
be
90s.
finals.
So, oh man. I'm gonna cast my vote. I think Rock was likely the more popular champion in terms of how many people cheered for him and stuff. But I think without Stone Cold, because Stone Cold came before The Rock, and without Stone Cold, I think the Monday Night Wars would not have been swayed back to the WWE so much. I think Stone Cold was integral, and giving him the belt was integral for the company at that time. So I'm gonna pick Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay. Yeah, this is really difficult because these are like two of my faves, and I was definitely a big fan back in the day. I'm going to lean towards Austin only because his time was a little bit longer than The Rock. The Rock was there, but it was kind of short. Like, he wasn't there as long as Austin. He had just as big as impact, I think, as Austin as far as popularity and people, like once you hear his music, the pop that he got. But just Austin had a little bit more longevity, so I'm gonna give it to Austin on that one, just because The Rock went to Hollywood. So,
All righty. So we got 1-1. Austin versus The Rock. Superfly Johnny Lee.
I'm going to have to give it to Austin as well because even though The Rock had his reigns, they wasn't necessarily memorable. Yes, he had some classic feuds, but really, you think about Austin versus Rock. You don't think about Rock versus anyone else. Your first people that you think about is either Triple H or it's going to be Austin. So Austin's my vote.
Andrew.
I gotta say Austin, just for the fact that I think he was better all around. I think at the time, now it's different. I think when The Rock comes out, people cheer more for him because more people know him from Hollywood than from wrestling. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But at the time, I think Austin got a bigger pop than The Rock did because The Rock was usually more of a heel than Austin was. So, I mean, you can make that argument that the baby faces got better cheers. And I think Austin related more to the average guy. So I'm giving it to Austin.
I'm going to have to give it to Austin too. I think it's, as much as I think the Austin feud was great, but at that time, I don't think anybody was better than Austin if Austin was out there. You know what I'm saying? Even as bad as that WCW invasion was, and Austin sitting there singing to all the WCW and ECW people, we were still watching because Austin was out there. You know what I mean? It was terrible.
I'll even make this one other argument. If you've ever seen any of Steve Austin's movies, I think he's a better action hero movie guy than The Rock.
The Condemned.
The movie The
Condemned was a really great movie. That was
Condemned was awesome.
Yeah,
that was that Hunter Games movie before Hunter Games came out. Yeah.
That's right.
Great movie.
Good game, or a good movie. Yeah, good movie.
No, I
The
didn't
Rock
see this.
British Day had
Yeah.
Austin's.
Austin has several movies as well out there, so similar types.
Oh,
He
I
made
thought
a
he was
great action
funny.
guy. He just didn't like it. I heard him on an interview because I didn't like going to Hollywood doing it. Didn't like it.
He liked that. He said he liked doing reality shows better because it was short filming. He could get it in, get it out, and then he could go back to his ranch and just hang out. And
that obstacle course show was great. Whatever it's called.
Oh yeah.
Broken Skull Ranch.
Yeah.
No, Broken Skull Ranch. That's what it was.
That was great.
Yeah, I love that shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty, guys. This is the matchup that I've been waiting for. I think we settled that Austin's done won that one. We got Shawn Michaels, HBK, Mr. WrestleMania versus the Never Seen 17, John Cena, and nobody cares. So, everybody, I don't know how to finish that. He sucks. I don't like Cena. So my vote is already Michael. So let's just end that one. I don't go ahead, JD. I'll let you let's take it around. You're muted, buddy.
I'm not really a Cena fan either. Shawn Michaels.
All righty. So we got two Shawns already. Uncle Slam.
Yeah. Obviously, everybody knows I'm not the biggest Shawn Michaels fan.
But he's going to give it to him today.
I know he's Mr. WrestleMania, supposedly. Cena does have a lot of championships. He's, his are more than HBK.
They were given to him.
Yeah. Well, I think Shawn kind of did the same shit on certain things. I think Cena kind of carried the company when it was at a low point. I feel like Shawn kind of elevated the belt more than Cena did. But see, this is hard, especially because I don't. So I think just because Cena has the 17, I'm going to give him over Shawn. It could be personal too, but I'm just going to leave it at that.
So we got two. So to make this clear, we got two Shawns, one Cena, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Before we get off, I do want to make one argument after
I knew it was coming. You just said let it go. He just said let it go.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Superfly.
I'm going for HBK because, yes, I know John Cena's had long reigns, but you got to think, half of his reigns were hot potatoes. HBK, on the other hand, he made his reigns significantly matter more every time he had the belt. So he's my vote.
All right. Mr. Dillon?
Well, my vote is not going to count, but I'm going to go back to what you guys said at the beginning. What makes an all-around, the all-around the best, the champion?
Yeah.
In-ring performance, Shawn Michaels is one of the best ever, right? No question about that. But outside the ring, he was a total ass.
Oh,
he did not do anything for the company whatsoever. Cena, on the other hand, probably just the opposite. In ring, not so much. He did a few moves here and there, big deal. Outside of the ring, globally, you can't touch him globally as the ambassador, as the champion, as the face, as the WWE persona. You can't beat him. So it's like they're total opposites on what they do. Like I said, in the ring, Michael's one of the best ever. Outside the ring, one of the biggest assholes ever.
Oh, yeah.
Cena, in the ring, not so much. Outside the ring, the best ambassador you're going to ever find for any kind of wrestling sport. So if you're looking for the overall champion, I got to give it to Cena just based on that criteria.
I got something to add to Andrew's argument there. I had to look it up. I thought he was the record holder for it, but I needed to look it up before I confirmed. He has granted the most
Make-A-Wish
wishes.
Yeah.
Easily.
Any other person.
So that alone right there tells me that it's a great champion right there.
650 is the current number, or at least the current number that I see. 650.
Yep.
That's going to be miles ahead of second place, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that alone, to me, from your criteria on what's the best overall champion, what does the champion do? To your criteria for what I understood
totally
to be,
see your point.
That's not even an issue whatsoever.
Very, very valid point. Very valid point. Now my only argument is when people say that, Cena carried the company, that Sean never carried the company or anything. I would argue that, and I have argued this, that Sean and Brett together carried the company with the Intercontinental Championship because everybody they were passing it around to after Hogan wasn't working. They were going to try to put it on Luger and it couldn't happen. They put it on Yoko and he was just gaining weight. Undertaker, you could only put it on him for so long. And then finally you had to start putting it on Brett, and all they did was move that Brett and Sean feud up from the Intercontinental title to the world title. I would argue that if it wasn't for Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, there may not be a WWE. And it's not taking anything away from the Undertaker. I just don't think he was enough to save it by himself.
Stone Cold.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Yeah, I agree with that.
And so
that is my only item.
Continental title before they
say
moved
again.
Up. Stone Cold and The Rock also had a feud for the Intercontinental title before
they didn't carry the entire company with the Intercontinental title for a year.
No, I was just pointing out that they were
right
for the Intercontinental title that were elevated up to the world title.
Right, but name another Intercontinental title feud that carried the company.
There is none.
Those would likely be the only two that I would refer to.
Right.
And that is my argument for it, is that if it wasn't for those three at that time to give the company time to bring up Triple H, Rock, Stone Cold, Mankind, and all these other guys, there may not be a WWF to be talking about because WCW may have buried them.
Yep.
I agree.
That is my only argument, that Sean is better than Cena, because I think Cena was just more set up for it. Nothing against Cena. I agree with everything you said. I'm not a big Cena fan, but Cena's Cena. There's some things I think he's a butthead about, but that's none of my business. It's more of his personal life stuff that's just been leaked out. But that's, like I said, none of my business as far as.
I was a huge Shawn Michaels fan. I even dressed up as him for Halloween. I worked as a bartender.
Right.
I was dressed up as Shawn Michaels for Halloween. I was a huge fan. But based on your criteria you told me at the beginning, Cena by far is the best champion. Based on your criteria.
I agree. I agree with that. But
who won?
Well,
where are we at?
I think Sean won. 3-2.
Shawn Michaels.
3-2.
3-2 Sean.
Yeah.
All righty.
Me and Uncle Slam is the only ones that had the level heads on that one.
Yeah, I agree.
We know only two people are going to get. We know two votes on this one already, so we can just skip those formality. No, I'm just joking. We got Bret Hart versus the Dead Man, the Undertaker, in the next round. JD,
good one. Man, this is. I mean, all of these matchups, like I said, are great on the WWE side, in my opinion. I know Andrew doesn't like that we missed out on some of the other people, but I think all of these matchups are excellent matchups.
Oh wait,
I wasn't poking any fun at you, man. I'm just saying, you didn't like that we didn't have some other people, and I can understand that argument too. But man, for this, I mean, the greatest champion. I mean, man, I think. Listen, I'm a Bret Hart fan, but is he the greatest champion? Is he better than The Undertaker? I don't know that I can make that argument. I don't know that I can make that argument. The Undertaker is one of those guys, though, that didn't need the championship to be over, though. So this is probably one of the hardest ones, I think, in this bracket. I'm going to have to say Taker, just because I think his longevity in the company, even when he was the champion, likely elevated it. But my only argument for Bret was that he was the guy at the time. Without him being able to be the champion after Hogan and stuff, I don't know that we make it to the Stone Colds and the Rocks and the John Cenas of it. So, but I'm gonna have to go with Taker, just for I think he brings more people to the company, and he's also, my last argument for that is, he's the locker room guy. He is the guy that people go to when there's a disagreement in the locker room. That man runs the WWE locker room. Nobody else did. He did it. And that's why I would choose him. He was better for the company, just for that reason alone. Undertaker would squash backstage drama. Bret Hart would kind of feed into it.
So we got an Undertaker. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, one Undertaker, Uncle Slam.
All right. Well, this is kind of easy for me. I'm obviously going to go with Bret Hart, but for different reasons. I'm going to kind of piggyback off what JD said about the Undertaker not needing the belt to be relevant. So it's like he didn't need the belt to be popular. I think Bret had the belt more. Now, if we were talking longevity-wise or importance to the companies, then I'd say Undertaker, just because he was that constant. He was always there. But if we're talking. But the thing is, we're talking about championship runs or whatever, or champions, and he had more titles. I think he did more with the belt when he had it. I think when the Undertaker had the belt, it was just there. Like, he didn't elevate it. I think, he had some interesting matches and shit, but I think Bret did more with less, and I think he was a better champ just because, like, when he had it, it was just more prestigious. The Undertaker just had it to have it or whatever. So I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm on Bret on this one. Like, I think it's kind of easy. Like, even though I do love the Undertaker, don't get me wrong, but like I said, we're talking about championships.
Oh yeah, one Bret, one Taker. Superfly, who you got?
Well, it's a great matchup. We've seen it actually at SummerSlam 1997. I'm looking at their championship reigns, looking at the longevity of both of them. Undertaker didn't need the title. He never did. I'm going to have to go Bret Hart as well. I love The Undertaker.
All right. We got 2-1. Bret. Andrew.
Bret. And I'm like everybody else. I love The Undertaker. I love Bret. Bret was given the belt when WWE was in the tank, was in the dumps, just like Uncle Slam was saying. And he had to carry it when they were in the dumps. And this was when WCW was starting to come up and all this stuff in the mid-90s. Undertaker never needed the belt to be Undertaker. Now, as far as locker room leadership, we all know the Undertaker is basically the leader, was the leader for the longest time. Bret, before the Undertaker, Bret was the leader of the locker room. Whether you guys know that or not, I had the honor. I was at WrestleMania 13. Like I told you earlier, I had a buddy who was working for the WWF at the time in the 90s. He was a merchandise guy. And just by happenstance, I lived in Indianapolis. The WrestleMania was in Chicago. I called him up. I said, hey, dude, if you're going to be in Chicago a couple of days early, I'll come up. We'll have lunch or dinner or something. I'll meet you. Then, you do your stuff. He says, you want to go to WrestleMania? I can get you in. I think, well, hell yeah. So I ended up working for him that weekend unofficially with the merchandise and everything else. And so before the match, before the actual WrestleMania, this is at Rosemont Horizon in Chicago. We were up in the bleachers taking a break from setting everything up, and we're sitting there. Me, and his name is Dennis. Me and Dennis. Up comes Bret Hart, sits there, and Earl Hebner. They come up there and sit down with us. So it was us four just sitting there. I'm awestruck. Holy crap! Yeah. I'm here with Bret and Earl, and you can just tell by the way they're interacting that Bret was the leader. He was by far the leader of that locker room. Nobody was going to cross Bret. It all had to go through Bret, just like it had to go through Undertaker later on.
Yep.
I'm once again, it's not a pat myself on the back. I'm just giving you guys a little bit of a history.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
All that being said, my heart goes with Bret Hart on this one. So I got to stay with Bret Hart.
Okay. So we're 3-1, Bret?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I like to change. Can I change my vote? I want to change my vote. Yeah. Andrew talked me into it. I want to change it to Bret.
Nope, too late. Too late. Already cast. But no, honestly, Andrew, please don't.
I can change my vote.
No. You can't back on your word now, man. This is
it's his plan. It's his website. He can change the vote.
Well, this is
true, this is my studio.
You're like, look, click, delete. He's gone. Guess what? I changed my vote because he's gone now. But no,
he's counting on J-Mac to
but no, like, Andrew, please don't ever feel like you're like being overstepping or not. Any information like stuff like that, we love it. So yeah, keep telling
and so do the viewers.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's
we love
to
hear it.
For, Andrew.
That's it.
It was. Let me throw this one out. The Rosemont Horizon, which is I don't think it's any there anymore. The Bulls used to play there as well, Chicago Bulls. That's where they had WrestleMania. I was the last one out of that building, like at 3:00 in the morning, when everything was done, money was counting, and everything else. Me and my buddy Dennis left the building. We're like, they say, lock the door behind you. We were the last two out of the building. Rosemont Horizon. But think of
I'd have been trying to
wherever you live, the biggest arena you can think of, and you're the last one out. Lock the door behind you as you leave, type thing. That's how it was. It was wild.
I'd have been grabbing everything that wasn't nailed down, man.
I grabbed a lot. Believe me,
Yeah, I would imagine.
Ah!
Yeah, damn right. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, don't incriminate yourself or nothing.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
ain't
we
get
don't know
nothing.
if,
He ain't got
statute of
nothing,
That
man.
ran, the statute of limitations ran on that probably a while ago, man.
He looked it up. It's all fake, just generic stuff, man. It's wasn't nothing. Leave that man alone. No.
Who else? Who else
I can tell you stories about that weekend, guys. We'll get another time.
Right. So I'm gonna, it goes to just what happened. Like I said, as much as I'm not a Bret Hart fan, Bret Hart was a part of carrying that company for the longest time. And it was that rivalry with Shawn Michaels. And I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna humble myself. Bret Hart is also the reason that Shawn Michaels became the superstar that he did.
Oh, no question. Absolutely.
I will say one other person really helped elevate him, and that was a British Bulldog. It was out of necessity, but the British Bulldog, even as bad off as he was, he could wrestle. You know what I'm saying? And that match with him and Shawn, Saturday Night's Main Event, when he won the Intercontinental Championship from him for the first time, that started that, and I mean, it was a good match, even though, out of the ring stuff. And then that elevated Shawn enough to where he could start working, because Bret was starting to be the world champion at that time.
Yeah.
And Shawn was the Intercontinental champion working with the world champion. We hadn't seen that since like the Ultimate Warrior Hogan stuff.
I was about to say Warrior and Hogan, yeah.
So it was like, okay, this is different. What are they doing different now? And then I got to give it to Bret. Bret over Taker. I love Taker, but I hate to say it's Bret.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I have a question before we move on about this, though. It's because we're going to segue into this next match with Hogan and Triple H. So we were talking about the longevity. Well, we weren't. You all did. You all were talking about the longevity of the Undertaker, and that he didn't need the title to really be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Hogan was the same way. You know what I'm saying? Hogan politic to get the title.
That's
to
well
keep
known.
the title.
Yes.
But after Hogan had a couple of reigns, he was Hulk Hogan, man. He didn't need the title to be relevant. You know what I'm saying? He could disappear for a little while, come back, and oh gosh, Hogan's here. So, but Hogan, Undertaker, if that had happened, who do you think's just on longevity meant more to the WWF?
Undertaker by far, without question. And here's why: because, like you said, Undertaker didn't need the title to be relevant. Hogan did.
I agree with Andrew.
Hogan did. When
Hogan
Hogan
didn't.
What?
Did but didn't. He did in his mind.
He
politics.
wasn't relevant without the title. I mean, how often did you see Hogan without the title? You didn't.
Because
Hogan always had the title.
But
he was overexposed.
When he didn't have the title, he was making sure that his title reign with whatever he was doing was more
I'm
important.
saying if we could have got the Hogan that went away for a little while and then come back to save the day, you see him for a short run. That's the Hogan that would have been better. But we got overexposed to Hogan, and Hogan was like, I got to get this while I can. So I see what you're saying.
How many matches was Hogan in without the title? Hardly any. Undertaker, almost every match he was in without the title, and it was one of the headliners of the.
I completely agree with what they point Andrew.
The last time Undertaker held the WWF title, Vince McMahon told him, "Oh, my dead body. Guess what? Taker never held the WWF title ever again." It took almost 2007 for him to finally hold the world title again, and then after that, That they had those last reigns. He stayed right at 7.
Yeah, and I agree with what Andrew was saying. Is that I think you take away the world title and Hogan isn't in the main event. No one wants to pay to see him.
No,
Not for that world title.
Uncle Slam.
I think if we're talking about Hogan and Undertaker, I think I'd have to
Just
go
for
with
longevity.
Undertaker. Yeah, Undertaker, just because he's more willing to do business. He's more of a company man.
Mhm.
As Hogan was more for himself and about him. As an Undertaker's like, I don't mind getting somebody over. I don't mind, not having the belt to, to basically do what's best for the company. As Hogan's like, so longevity is because he's going to work with you. He's going to do what it's going to take. He's not going to need $1 million, even though you're probably going to give it to him just because he's been there. But Hogan's going to demand, and he's going to demand the title. So,
let me
Undertaker.
throw this at you guys, because we've all watched wrestling interviews with former wrestlers, and we've all seen them. All right, we're in the business to do that. We like doing that. How many times have you heard wrestlers, past and present, say that Hogan was a pain in the ass to work with? All he wanted to do was for himself. And he changed everything at the last minute. Everything had to be about him.
Mm-hmm.
Versus the Undertaker, he was all about, okay, let's do it right. Let me be the leader, help you out, to make you grow, blah, blah, blah. You never heard anybody say good things about Hogan. Everyone says bad things about Hogan.
Yep.
Everybody says good things about Taker.
I 100% agree with that argument.
Yeah.
But 100%. My image of Hogan has changed so much over the years from what it was whenever I was a kid.
Yes.
But if I'm looking at it completely objectively and I'm only looking at it from a wrestling standpoint,
fair enough.
The argument that separates Hogan's longevity and impact from Undertaker's, for me, is Hogan had one title reign and he slammed one giant, and he was on Sports Illustrated and everything around the world.
Oh yeah, he was there in the company's heyday. Absolutely,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying he was the greatest guy in the world. I'm not saying he was always done right business or nothing like that.
You just said he had one title reign.
His impact, if it wasn't for Hogan, and his reign, then and I'm just talking about the reign. I'm not talking about the Hogan jump into WCW. That was horrible because Hogan just got handed the whole, at least in the WWE, he could be reined in a little bit from Vince. You see what I'm saying? Vince was not going to hand his company over to Hogan as much as Hogan, as powerful as Hogan was. That was obvious. He let Hogan go. Yeah. So, I'm saying Hogan could be reeled in a little bit in WWE. In WCW, they gave him everything. They gave him the keys to the kingdom, and that's why. Yes.
J-Mac.
So, hold on. Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
So, one reign, one giant, and just that WWE run, we wouldn't even be talking today doing this.
You were at the beginning of this episode, you asked us all what we thought were the best qualities or what would be our ideal qualities for a world champion. And you know what we all forgot?
What?
Integrity. That's why no one's going to vote for Hogan in this thing, because he doesn't have it. So that would be my other qualification for
I 100% agree.
For the greatest world champion that of all time. That's a quality that I'm looking for, is integrity of the business. And Hogan doesn't have it.
Yeah, the Taker would always put the business first. Like you said, he was always about the business over everything. That's why he got pissed about the screw job. That's why he got pissed about a lot of
you can say the same thing about Michaels. He did not put the business over everything. He put himself over everything.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it crazy that some of the biggest names and the greatest stars they were not what we thought they were on TV?
It's no different.
It's just crazy.
It's no different.
It's absolutely crazy. You're right. All righty.
We're Hogan and Triple H.
Yeah, we are Hogan and Triple H. I just wanted to get your all thoughts on their longevities, because those are the only two I could really compare in the WWE as far as
I'm glad the bracket's being filled out.
Yes.
We're not through the first round yet. I'll
do
the next one after we're through the first round. I'm not doing it after every pick. Are you out of your mind?
All right. All righty. We have got Triple H and Hulk Hogan.
Not like you're doing anything else over there, crying out loud.
So,
Going
back
all
to
day.
JG, who you got? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so Triple H and Hogan. Listen, Hogan. Honestly, this is probably the worst match of the WWE opening brackets because I think both of them have manipulated their position in the company to get more than what they were actually owed. Both Triple H and Hogan. Okay, so Triple H, you could probably knock the last 6 title reigns of Triple H's career off had he not married the boss's daughter. Okay, if not more than that. So I don't care how many title reigns Triple H has. Yeah, I don't care how many title reigns the owner or the guy who's making the decisions, how many reigns that person has. So I don't care how many reigns Triple H has because more than half of them came while he was the decision maker. So I don't really classify that. And Hogan, like we already talked about, used to politic his way in both companies to be the world champion and to be on top and to never, ever put anybody over cleanly, ever. So with that being said, I'm going to have to go with Triple H, though, because at least he did. And this is why the biggest thing that separates them is that Triple H, he was the only one left after the curtain call incident. Michaels was injured. He got benched. Hall and Nash were gone to WCW. Triple H stayed, ate shit in the WWE for years before he was let out of the cellar and before he actually became Triple H and was allowed to even evolve his character with Shawn Michaels. So I'm going to have to go with Triple H because he did something he wasn't supposed to, stayed, paid the dues, ate the shit, and then climbed his way back to the top of the company, which he did before he was with Stephanie. He did that before he was with Stephanie. That's the other reason. His first couple reigns he did before he was with Stephanie. So he earned his way back and to the top. So I'm going to go with Triple H on that.
All right. So he's got Uncle Slam. Who you got? Triple H or Double H?
This is kind of hard on me, like I said, because I agree with a lot what JD said. Honestly, like I said, as far as Hogan being out for himself, and then Triple H wouldn't have been in the spot he would if he hadn't married Stephanie. So it's like they both got a strike against them on that. I think Triple H was a better wrestler. I think people love Hogan more. He was more popular. He was more of a, pop phenom, whatever you want to call him and shit. But as far as the champ, he didn't really have he didn't have a ton of reigns, honestly. I mean, Triple H had more. I mean, even those, kind of like JD said, those last 6 he pretty much put himself in that position. So to me, this is just really a lot harder than I would want to say because I really don't. It's kind of hard to choose because I think they both are kind of just selfish people when it comes to it.
Like the battle of basement, right, Slam?
Yeah. It's a battle of
it's the toilet
lesser
bowl.
2 evils here.
It's the WWE toilet bowl.
So if I had to pick, I would probably say Hogan only because I think he was bigger than Triple H. I think he, kind of like J Mac said, we're still talking about him, and all he did was slam one guy one time, and that's, people still talking about him. They still put him up.
Also had the WF title 6 times.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Hogan on this one, even though I do think Triple H is a way better wrestler. Way better.
I agree with. Oh, well, that's not my turn.
Oh, Superfly.
Yes. I'm over here.
I gotta agree with him because as much as I hate Hulk Hogan, his reign may not have been the best, but he still talked about way more than Triple H. If we're going popularity base, Hulk Hogan's name is still there, whereas Triple H gets lost in the shuffle because everyone wants to talk about his contemporaries. So I gotta go with Hulk Hogan based alone on everything that he's done before Triple H ever got the title.
My counter argument to that, Johnny Lee, though, is that it's not just based on the popularity. If we're doing the greatest world champion of all time, it has to involve some of the characteristics that we described when we started the episode. So that would be my counter argument to you.
But
I'm just saying that when I was asking that question at the beginning, I was just asking what you envision. You know what I'm saying?
Shouldn't we? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of how I'm basing my pick off of who did the most for the company, but who did most for the business popularity. It's all I'm taking in all of it into
Yeah,
account.
yeah,
I
definitely.
say
Oh,
Palace
yeah, like, there's not one
most
factor.
definitely.
That's popularity.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that. I'm
Unless
just
it's Sting or
saying that,
CM
like,
Punk.
that wasn't just the standard I was saying to set. You know what I'm saying? I mean, take all of it into it, you know.
Yeah.
But I think Hogan did have a lot of charisma. Like I said, I mean, he got over with fans. You know, he just for somebody to say, "Let me tell you something, brother," and then everybody would lose their freaking mind. So I think he envisioned that part. Now, as far as being technical, we all know he wasn't that great a wrestler. He had a leg drop and a body slam.
So what are we, 2-1 Hogan?
He had a great body, you
Yeah,
know,
Hogan.
saying big man, muscles, all that, you know. So he looked like a wrestler.
The only advantage that he's got over Triple H is that he stayed popular, whereas Triple H basically was not the most popular wrestler holding the title.
Athleticism, not really. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he not saying he couldn't do it, but he didn't do it because that's he wasn't called upon to do that. You know, that wasn't his character. He didn't have to be technical. All he had to do was be the big guy that could hulk up and, you know, take a beating.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead, Superfly, or is it Legend's turn?
I know. I think it's Andrew's turn.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Man, this is tough for me because I don't think either one of them belong in this bracket whatsoever. So that being said, and I listened to a podcast, Jim Cornette's podcast, quite a bit. I love Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
Politically wise, we couldn't be farther apart. Business wise, I think him and I we can hang on the business of wrestling and everything else pretty much. He once said, and once he said this, I'm like, he's right, and I never thought of it this way. Triple H, as good as he is, as much of a business guy he is for the wrestling, he was never the guy. He was always the guy who took on the guy. So, for instance, you never heard, okay, Triple H has the title. Somebody's going after him. No, it's right. Triple H is always going after somebody else. So he was never the guy. If that makes sense. I don't know if I explained that right, but he was never.
Yeah. Because he was always chasing the Rock, or he was chasing.
So he was never the guy. So when the average person thinks about WWE, WWF, Triple H is not even on their mind whatsoever. Hogan is based on these two people.
Yeah.
So if you want to go by popularity, Hogan's got it by a mile. There's no question about that popularity wise. In-ring ability, Triple H by far is over Hogan. I mean, one of the best matches ever, and I'll go to my grave with this one, is Triple H, Taker, Hell in the Cell with Shawn Michaels as the ref, and that WrestleMania
28.
That was one of the best matches ever. I mean, you can watch that over and over and just watch it. The psychology, everything about that match was great. Hogan could never have pulled that off. Never, ever, ever could he pull that off.
But he was good on the mic.
Who?
Hogan.
Yeah.
People bought it. People bought it.
I can debate that Triple H was by far better.
Triple H is.
I don't know.
Hogan,
he rambled a little bit. Most
Hogan's
promos.
We're talking two totally different eras, though, too. So that's
right. It's two totally different styles of a promo.
Yeah. So
Hogan's "Say Your Prayers, Eat Your Vitamins." He just modified that with Hollywood.
This is what I would
criteria. Like I said with Cena and Michaels, based on the criteria, Hogan at the time was an ambassador for the WWF. At the time. As much as I hate to say this, I have to give it to Hogan just for that one, and I hate to say that, but
so
based on your criteria, I got to give it to Hogan.
3-1. Are we 2-2 or 3-1?
I think we're 3-1.
I said Hogan 3-1.
Yeah, I was the only one that picked Triple H.
That's what I thought.
I mean, I would love to pick Triple H, but based on your criteria, I got to go Hogan. Unfortunately, yeah.
I'm gonna go Hogan. But I get what you were saying about, to elaborate on what you were saying about Triple H not being the guy. It was never Triple H has got the belt and somebody's coming after him. It was him going and attacking somebody.
Yes.
Yeah, the cerebral assassin.
He was the guy, but he was not the guy that you're chasing. He wasn't
I'll throw this in. As far as matches that I would prefer to watch, I would prefer to watch any Triple H match over any Hogan match.
Oh, well, hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's not even a question.
I take it back.
Based on your criteria, Hogan was an ambassador for the WWE,
Yeah.
WWF at the time, so you got to go with that.
There's one match of Hogan's I would watch over any Triple H match, and that's him and Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam. That's just comedy gold. Shawn Michaels overselling for
comedy
him.
wise, I give it to you. Comedy wise,
Shawn Michaels was being such an ass that day, man,
Yeah.
and he was overselling so much.
Sean
it was
let
great.
that old man know.
Yes.
I ain't playing your games.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
Sean made that.
I'm gonna go though because of just his popularity. Hogan's got it. All righty.
That's
So
right.
the second
Hey, look at
round,
that.
we
Good,
have
good
got.
job with the brackets, my friend. Good job.
Thank you. I'm a professional.
He said, "No, I'm not letting Andrew catch me this time."
I do
So-
each pick as we select them. As soon as a pick is done, it's done in the program. I'm just not uploading the images every single time we do a pick.
Slacking, but
Yeah.
Hey, when you're an enforcer, you can slack all you want.
Says all the guys, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Says all when you're a grinder and the enforcer, it says all the guys eating your dirt and dust that you're leaving behind.
but all righty. So in the semifinals, we have got Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the Heartbreak
Holy-
Kid, and
look
we've
at
got
Hulk.
Bret Hart versus Hulk Hogan.
Look at
Bret
that.
Hart.
Those are again classic matches.
We will start out with, of course, Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels.
Well, if I'm starting, let me just say that I would absolutely pay for one of those matches.
I'd prefer to pay for the HBK Stone Cold just because,
Stone Cold and HBK.
Bret Hart would be worth seeing just because I'd want to see how many times he potatoed Hogan.
Exactly. The same thing. Yeah, exactly. Hart hated Hogan. He still hates him.
Every time he hits Hogan, he starts yelling, Bill Goldberg.
Everything. Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg. Fuck you, Big Goldberg.
Oh,
That is
man.
way inside right there.
Yeah.
All righty.
All right,
We are
so-
going to start in reverse again. Or how about we just do a different? We'll start with Superfly this time.
All right. Superfly.
I mean, I like both Steve Austin. I like HBK. I'm looking at the overall performance of the two. They both were popular. They both were. One of them was hell of a fantastic wrestler, HBK. The other one was fantastic as a brawler. They both held the title and was popular as fuck amongst the fans. But if I were to stack them up next to each other,
It's HBK all day.
I'd have to go with Stone Cold Steve Austin because his popularity was so much through the roof that it helped save WWF during a time when it was almost dead in the water thanks to WCW's 83 weeks. If it was not for Austin making that rise, WWF could have very well just been done.
Uncle Slam.
This is probably harder than Legend would think, but I'm going to go with Stone Cold on this, just because I think that there's kind of levels to this, and I always put the Hogans, the Austins, and like the Rocks on one pedestal, and then the Shawn Michaels, the Undertakers, and Bret Hart's on like another. No disrespect, not saying they're not, he's not great or he's not, an excellent wrestler. But I just feel like, kind of like you said, if it wasn't for Austin at that point in time, we might not be talking about WWE. We might be talking about WCW buying WWF and shit. I think he saved the company at a time when it was low. I think Shawn Michaels did this kind of same thing, but not as dramatic because there wasn't as much competition. I just think Austin could wrestle, but I think after he had that injury, he went to more of a brawling style because he was more technical before. But, after the neck injury, he had to go to, he had to kind of switch to being a brawler. But, yeah, Austin all the way on this one.
Mr. Dillon.
This one's another tough one because, again, I think Shawn Michaels is probably the best, at least in the top three, best in-ring performers of all time. No question about it. Him and Eddie Guerrero to the top. So I put Eddie Guerrero in there.
Good choices.
But based on your criteria, Austin, like Uncle Slam said, Austin carried the company when it needed to be carried. Sean was in the company. So Brett carried the company up until a certain point. Sean took over when it didn't need to be carried or wasn't in a position to be carried. After Sean, Stone Cold came in and elevated the company up to the next level. I don't know if I'm making sense right there. In my mind, it makes perfect sense. So that being said, the average person will say, will know who Steve Austin is before they know who Shawn Michaels is. A wrestling fan will put them both on the same level playing field.
Yeah.
So again, based on your criteria, I got to put Stone Cold on top of there. I got on the top of HBK. I got to put him there, just for the fact that even in this day, people know Stone Cold. Granted, he has the podcast and Shawn Michaels doesn't. But again, if you're in the wrestling industry, dirt sheets like we are, you know that Shawn Michaels is just equally, if not more important than Stone Cold. Mm-hmm. But outside of wrestling, Stone Cold is light years ahead of Shawn Michaels in that aspect. So I got to say with Stone Cold.
Yeah, I also am going to pick Stone Cold because I think he was more popular than Shawn Michaels. I don't think Shawn Michaels reached his peak until him and Triple H formed DX, which was the first shot, the first counter to WCW in the Monday Night Wars. Mm-hmm. So I got to give Shawn credit for being a part of that. I think without DX, I don't think it was just Stone Cold, and I don't think it was just DX. I think it was the fact that they had both of them to put on their television shows every week that made it good. Now, Shawn, of course, gets injured. Triple H has to rebuild DX. Stone Cold keeps his role going. So that's why I'm going to pick Stone Cold, just for no other reason that right at Shawn Michaels' peak, I think, is when he had that terrible back injury and had to retire for a few years.
Right against the coffin.
Now, here's a stat for you. I heard, and it could be surpassed by now, but when Stone Cold was in his heyday, he said on a 1-year basis, Stone Cold sold more merchandise than anybody in the history for the 1 year of WWE. Long term, at the time, Hogan outsold everybody, but for 1 year, Stone Cold sold more than anybody ever. He like doubled the next guy.
Yeah,
I believe it. Austin 316, man, that shit was ridiculous. It was everywhere.
Fire.
So he made $1 gazillion just on that. I mean, you could never hear from him again. He would live comfortably for the rest of his life.
Yeah, absolutely. So, J-Mac, since you're getting back, I guess we'll get your pick. But right now, it is looking like Stone Cold. Ford is nothing.
So HBK's winning everything, right?
I never heard you quiet before. You're like,
no, I have my thing muted, so I came back in. It's a clean sweep for HBK, right?
No, right now Stone Cold is up 4-0.
Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, as much as I love Sean, this is going to be, and playing devil's advocate here, because I always want to look at the flip side of everything. Yes, you got your Hulk Hogan's, you got your Stone Colds, and I mean, people will argue probably till the dawn. You got your Roman Reigns. As far as I mean, I know it's maybe
no.
I'm not saying we would. I'm not saying we would. Hold on, let me finish. I'm not saying we would, but younger generations are going to argue Roman Reigns the same way younger generations argue LeBron James.
They're called marks.
I can't help. I can't help what they're called. I'm just saying.
I got 3 words for you: CM Punk.
Speaking of marks,
but so looking at it objectively, you got those guys that carried the companies, but nobody ever talks of. We talk about them, but do we ever give the reverence to the guys that handed it over to them? Again, you made a point, JJ, that Sean had it at a time when it really didn't need to be carried, because everybody could see where it was going. Now, the only argument to that is, damn, what would we have gotten if Sean hadn't broke his back? with
Yeah.
him and Stone Cold.
I
You
agree
see
with
what
that.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's like we got robbed of so much because of that injury and because of losing Bret Hart and because of losing Owen Hart.
Mhm.
Man, Stone Cold, Owen Hart, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Rock coming up, Mankind, Undertaker. Good Lord, the
Oh yeah,
wrestling that could have
absolutely,
happened.
no question.
You
Plus,
know,
that girl on them coming in.
so but my thing is we talk about all the guys that carried it, but when we give the reverence to the guys that handed it over to them, but I don't think they get enough credit. Like I said, Sean, no, he didn't. He had 4 world title reigns. 2 of them he didn't lose. He gave up. Yes, he was an ass.
Mhm.
Everybody knows
Yeah,
the
no
story.
question. Yeah, everyone knows that, right? Yeah.
But when you're separating the outside, because we're just talking about wrestling, there is nobody that you can really argue, like you said. And I want to get your take on this, hot take, whatever you want to call it, quick answer. And especially you, Andrew. You said Sean is top 3 all time, him and
Mhm.
Eddie Guerrero. Who's the
Mhm.
third?
Oh, geez.
If you had to pick on the spot, quick
On the spot.
and quick. Boom.
And this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but I say Chris Benoit.
Me too.
Okay. I
Me
could
too.
I could see
I
the
don't have an
argument.
issue with that.
It's a
We're-
very
we're
unpopular
talk-
opinion,
we're-
but I got to say
No, I don't
Chris
think it
Benoit.
is.
We're
I'm
talking
right on with
wrestling.
that.
We're
Yeah.
talking wrestling. We just
Yeah, I'm right on with
separated
that.
Sean's personal life.
I
We have
love
to separate.
Chris Benoit in ring. I absolutely loved
That's
it.
that's exactly who I was going to pick too. I was
Yeah,
like, do I
yeah.
pick Chris Benoit or is he going to be too controversial? No, I'm going to
Very
pick
controversial.
him.
Yes.
Oh.
Uncle
100%.
Slam.
Would you say 3?
Just a quick one. He just to fill in his list. He said Eddie and Sean. Who would
Eddie
you
and
put third?
Shawn.
Quick, just a quick pick.
And then who else would be a good in ring or one of the best?
Yes, in ring.
Owen Hart or like a Kurt Angle.
I would say I would also put them in the conversation too.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Superfly?
Yes.
Superfly.
We're forgetting AJ.
Mm.
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles,
Holy moly.
yeah.
How
Ooh,
could I
true,
forget
true.
about AJ
That's a
Styles?
good one too.
Johnny
Yeah.
Lee,
Superfly. Who'd you?
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe in
Joe.
ring. Okay,
That's
all
okay.
time.
yeah,
I mean,
in his prime,
he's,
in
to
TNA,
be as
in
big as
TNA.
he is, the man can wrestle. To be
Oh.
as big as he is,
He is-
you can't take anything away
WWE
from him.
dropped the ball. They should have had
Big
a
time.
program with
Big
Samoa
time.
Joe
Big
and
time.
Brock Lesnar. They should have
Big
had a
time.
one-on-one,
Yep.
2 or 3 pay-per-views with those two guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Samoa
would
Joe
have
Wonderful.
been
could
interesting.
have been champion.
Samoa Joe though in
Huge money.
Samoa Joe in AEW is looking a little slower than he was in TNA.
Oh, now he's like 30 years,
Yeah,
40
that's
years
what I
older
mean.
than he
That's
was.
what I mean. But like in TNA, yeah, Samoa Joe was definitely that caliber in his prime in those TNA days, 100%. Yeah,
In the mid-2000 teens, him and Brock Lesnar could have had a program like, whoo, mercy. It could
Yeah.
have been
He
better
was
than
on
anything else. out
fire
there.
during his time there.
They
Oh,
dropped the
okay.
ball.
I'm
Anyway,
sorry. Where are we at
go
with things?
We are at. I think which match were we on right there? We were at HBK and Austin. So that's
Steve-
that would be my only argument for HBK. As much as I love him, you can't argue the impact Stone Cold had on the business. But I don't ever want to forget the Andres, the Sean. All those guys, the Harley Races, all those guys that handed it off to these greats like Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan. And,
Yeah,
you can't forget those guys. And I would even say, no, he wasn't like 15-time world heavyweight champion, but even, you would put Bret Hart in there, as one of the guys that just carried it and handed it off for other people so that they could take it to that next level. You know what I'm saying? They were kind of like they were the 70s NBA.
Superfly, did you just have a costume change on us? What's going on?
Yes, I did.
He said, boom, it's time for the next
I got
round.
that.
it's flashy all the time, man.
He
Yep.
said it's time for the next round.
This crazy son of a bitch, he'll go through 2 or 3 blazers in a single throw. It's crazy.
Right. All right.
There's only 5
Let
miles
me
to
go.
Sequin Mountain.
J-Mac, let me go first on this one, and then I can step away for a moment, and everybody else can take their pick. Bret
Sounds
Hart.
good to me. We got Bret Hart and Hulk Hogan, ladies and gentlemen.
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart. I'll go ahead. Bret Hart.
All right, so we got 2 for Bret. I'm sure Uncle Slam. Who you got?
Oh, damn! This is if we're going by our criteria that we talked about earlier. I don't know if we are. I would go Bret Hart. If we're talking about as far as impact, I'd probably say Hogan, but I'm going to lean more towards like a Bret Hart on this one.
That's right. I forgot. We gotta go with the criteria here.
So we got 3 Brets. All right, Superfly. We got 3 Brets. It's already settled. Bret's done moved on.
Bret
Let
Hart.
me think about it for a second.
Okay.
Go on, Superfly. Take my vote out of it for now.
Okay.
I choose Bret Hart because look at him. The man was technical. The man was carrying the company. He may not be as popular as Hulk Hogan was, but I'd argue that he was a better champion overall than Hulk Hogan.
I think he had better matches too.
Exactly.
Maybe not as memorable as Hogan, but way better matches.
Are you still stewing, JJ? If you are, I've got my answer.
Go ahead with your answer. Go ahead with your answer.
Okay. So I am just going to say that if, again, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Intercontinental Championship. When did Hogan ever do something like that? I love Hogan, and I'm not saying that Hogan's impact wasn't great too. And it was bigger than that impact, but it's the timing. You know what I'm saying? Him and Vince started something, and he got lucky and rode a wave. And not after the WWE run was done or WWF run was done, he rode the wave on into WCW for another 10 years. You see what I'm saying? Hogan was a smart businessman. Plain and simple. He was a smart businessman. I mean, I'm not saying he made the best business decisions, but he always knew how to get an opportunity and get a payday.
You're mispronouncing greedy.
Hold on. You're right. I'm not right. I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, Bret did it for the love of the business.
Yes. That's what makes him better.
And that's why I have to give it to Bret. But it's like, I don't know. I just think Bret was what I was looking for. You know what I'm saying? I was just at that time, Hogan was just getting old and stale. Bret and Shawn was cool. It was young. It was, new generation and stuff like that. I just think it hit right at the right time. It just didn't get the chance to take off because that generation from us was kind of getting into other things like, teenage years and, chasing girls and cars or whatever, hanging out with your buddies or whatever.
Days.
I was never.
Right. He said sunny days.
I'm still chasing girls.
Right.
And I'm not. Listen, I'm not. Hogan. I was never a Hogan fan. Even back in the day, I was always a Sting fan. I was never really the biggest Hogan fan.
I got to be with you on that one.
Why aren't you a Hogan fan? Why aren't you a Hogan fan? Because he's boring in the ring. At the time when I was a child, I didn't know that, but he's boring. He's boring.
Yes, I agree 1,000% with that one. Yes.
And that's kind of what I was saying. Like once it got to the Bret and Shawn era, that 90, 91, 92, when they were doing their thing in the WWF, and then WCW had the Sting and Vader stuff going on, Sting and Rick Rude. I was loving all that stuff too. I had them Clash of the Champions on with the one where Luger come out and clipped Sting's knee and everything. I had them things on VHS tape. I wore them things out.
Oh yeah.
But so I mean, I was all into that and everything too. I think that they had more stable characters over in WCW. They just mishandled everything. Vince had, I don't know. I just think Vince was hanging on by a thread, and I think there's meant more in the overall scheme of things of really saving the WWF, whatever you want to call it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I would give it to Brett. Didn't mean to make it long-winded or anything, but
All right.
yeah.
Just to be clear, I thought I was bored with Hogan in 1985. I was 2 at the time. All right, the finals for the WWF or E, whichever you prefer to say.
I'm going to quote Sir Charles Barkley, JD, when I say, "That's terrible, Kenny." I love Charles.
I
Charles
would
is
not.
great.
If you'd asked
Yes.
me who I thought was going to be in the finals, maybe one of these 2 picks, but I honestly thought maybe Undertaker from the bottom half would end up making it to the end. I don't think I would have anticipated Bret Hart being the one, but we're at Steve Austin versus Bret Hart for the greatest WWF champion of all time. You really can't. That's what I love about these shows. Even if we disagree a lot, look at the bracket. Can you pick 2? Is there 2 better people even in the brackets than Steve Austin and Bret Hart for what we're doing? Like
This bracket, no, but you guys left out a bunch of good ones on the bracket.
yes, well, we know that.
Well, that's the problem, because like we didn't want to make it too big, and the only way we could really make it work is put 8
for us.
And
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah, of course. Yeah. For
So,
what
guys-
we got, for what we got, the right 2 are in
Yes.
the finals. Yes.
yeah.
And everybody that's watching, everybody that's gonna watch and everything, I know this is a little late in there. Go like, follow, share, subscribe. Everybody's media's 4 Horsemen
Yes.
podcasting.
I got a question. Are the
nice guy,
Sloans
Andy.
watching? Are the chicks of the Sloans watching?
Oops, my bad. They're not affiliated anymore.
Oh,
Andrew,
okay. I'm sorry.
That's my apologies for not bringing you up to speed.
We will talk off
Okay,
camera.
never mind.
I'd be
Okay,
happy,
never mind.
we'd be happy to answer
That's where
several
I can
many
hope.
questions after.
That's
all
behind
right.
the scenes. And never mind. Go on. Go on.
That's
Go on. Go
all
on.
But anyways, yeah,
I can't follow
go.
those. He's all about the
I'm gonna
money.
jump out on a limb. I'm gonna jump out on a limb and say no.
But no hate. We wish them well. We hope they, continued success.
Well,
But
We
shoot.
go follow
it-
Headlocks Heels and Havoc. Go follow the Superfly Johnny Lee. Go follow Popcorn and Whiskey, and go follow Mayhem Media. That is the chief point of what we were trying to say.
Exactly. There you go.
Yes.
Well, I said the one in the back, the one that's always in the back, she's hot. That's all I got to say. So there you go.
And yeah, look at that. No, I'm just joking.
Oh, speaking of the comment section, no, absolutely not.
All right, guys, I need a drink. Sorry. All right, here you
No,
go.
I was a Navy
Oh,
SEAL. It's
okay.
okay.
I stepped off camera's voice now. I mean, it's a long episode, and it happens.
Andy was thinking, where the
And
hell's
for
the
those
hot
who are
one?
watching and don't understand, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes between at least me and JD for certain, and JD for everybody else. So a lot of inside jokes may get said that not all of us are privy to, like myself, of course, but it's all relevant. Don't worry about it. Let it go.
Yeah. And don't worry, Andrew will be brought. We'll bring Andrew up to speed.
Bring him
He's the
up
new
to speed
Horseman
another
after the
time.
show. I just forgot. I just forgot to,
That's fine.
to
Hey,
mention something.
Move on.
J-Mac, are you good, or do you need me to run it for a
No.
minute? You good?
No, I was waiting on you. You all were talking, so I
No,
wasn't
you look-
interrupting.
I asked you because you look frozen again, and I know sometimes you like just you're statuesque in your appearance, but sometimes it's hard to tell whether or not you're frozen. You did just play a trick on us earlier tonight.
Yeah,
remember?
Well,
you got a point there.
hey,
That's why I keep thinking that Slam is frozen back there, but he just
Because I'm like, where I'm like
he's
this.
just buying time. That's all. Yeah.
It's the sunglasses.
It's
That's what it
back
is.
there.
It's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, sorry.
But so we got
um,
Stone Cold and Bret Hart for the finals here to crown the greatest WWF champion or WWE champion of all time.
Okay. Who's going first on this? Or
it was we went with Superfly last time.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead, Johnny.
Go
Lee.
ahead. Superfly.
This is a tough one, actually.
Yes, it is.
You got Bret Hart, you got Stone Cold Steve Austin. We've seen this match
Wow.
actually before at WrestleMania 13.
Arguably, and I would argue, Andrew, that is one of the best matches of that. It could be in the
That's the
conversation.
one I was at.
Matches.
It's in Chicago,
It's-
Rosemont
it's-
Horizon.
it's the
I was
first-
at that match.
Yeah,
It's the
that was
first
one
ever
of-
Hall of Fame match.
Yeah, that was one of the best matches I've ever
I
seen.
was there.
That was the first
Here's the
match that was
thing.
inducted into the Hall of Fame last year. Sorry, go ahead,
Yeah.
Johnny Lee.
Bret Hart is now taking on a seasoned Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's not taking on the Stone Cold Steve Austin they fought at WrestleMania 13. He's taking on the guy. And to me, that edges him above Bret Hart.
So we got
That's my
Stone
choice,
Cold.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
We got one for Stone Cold. Uncle Slam.
This is not as tough as you probably think. Most people would say I'd probably lean towards Bret Hart. Obviously, we've seen them, go against each other. But I believe, like I said, kind of said before, there's levels to this, and you got Stone Cold, which is 1, and Bret's like a 1B or something like that. He's just like he meant more. I think like I said, he's just a bigger impact. I think more common people know him. I think more people that don't know wrestling know Stone Cold than they do Bret Hart. I think wrestling fans know Bret Hart. I think common people know Stone Cold. I know wrestling fans are going to know Stone Cold already. So as much as I like Bret Hart, and like everybody knows I'm a Bret Hart fan, I got to give to Stone Cold on this one.
All right, so we got 2 for Stone Cold. Mr. Dillon.
I gotta be like Uncle Slam. I'm the same way. Everyone knows who Stone Cold is outside the business. Inside the business, you know who Bret Hart is. I have a soft spot in my heart for both of these guys because I was at that match, Market Square Arena, and I gotta tell you guys, at that time there was 3 camera setups: one ringside, one about 4 or 5 rows up, and one about 10 or 20 rows up in the stands. And around the cameras, there's like a 5 or 6 row block off where no one can sit around the cameras. So people couldn't interfere with the camera setup so they could watch it on TV. I had a pass because I was working for the merchandise that day where I could go anywhere I wanted. But I could not sit ringside because I tried. I could not sit ringside. So I went up next to the camera guy. I was talking to the camera guy the whole time as he was filming. So I could literally shake the camera if I wanted. That's how close I was to the camera during that match. So I have a soft spot in my heart for that match because I was there. And at the time, I didn't know how significant it would be, of course.
Yeah.
So all that being said, that's a backstory. All that being said, as much as I like Bret Hart, based on your criteria, I got to go with Stone Cold on this one. Stone Cold is the one everyone knows Stone Cold. Outside of the business, they know who Stone Cold Steve Austin is. So I got to go with Stone Cold.
Yeah, I'm gonna also pick Stone Cold on this. I just think he was more popular. I think I listen. Sticking with the whole the character thing, like who you are inside the ring and outside the ring, I think that matters. Whether or not you care more about the business or more about yourself, that's part of my criteria as well. And I do think that Bret Hart got selfish, especially at the end of his WWE career. I think he felt that he was the chosen one and didn't think it was time for him to be replaced. Every champion in the world, except for Hogan, reaches that moment where you're going to be replaced by the next guy. So, and he just wasn't ready. So I do think, and Stone Cold really didn't have that option. He got injured. So he knew he was going to be getting replaced. He knew he was on limited time anyway. So I think Stone Cold, just because of popularity, I think my only counter argument for that for Bret Hart was that I think that match with Bret Hart, the Stone Cold and Bret Hart match, I think that's one of those things that put Stone Cold on the map. I think winning the King of the Ring.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, Stone Cold will tell you that. Absolutely. Stone Cold will tell you that. Yeah.
Austin 316.
No question.
That match are 2 of the biggest things that pushed him to the top of the WWE. And without the worker that Bret Hart is, because I don't care who you are. We can say a lot of things about Bret Hart, a lot of things, good and bad. But one thing you can't say is that he has never put on a bad match, with the exception of one, with anybody. He's never had a bad match.
Right. Yes.
In fact, he makes people look better than they actually are. And that
Bill
is not
Goldberg
for wrestlers to do.
Fuck Bill Goldberg.
You're killing me.
But he had that skill, and I think Chris Benoit had it. I think Owen Hart had it. Some of the people we talked about, being some of the best technical wrestlers.
Goldberg.
AJ Styles. We keep forgetting AJ Styles, but he's one of them
AJ
as well.
Styles, and I think Bret Hart, falls into that. I think there aren't many people. The list of names that we just went over, they're the people who can make other people look better than they are. There's not a whole lot of people that can actually do that. So
Charlotte Flair.
I'm gonna pick. So I'm gonna go with Stone Cold, but just because I think he did more after that. But I wanted to acknowledge that without that match with Bret Hart, Stone Cold likely isn't on the map in the same way he is.
Yeah, absolutely. You're
so
1,000%
Stone
right.
Cold too.
I 100% agree, and I
Stone
also
Cold
believe Bret.
Stone Cold said so in an interview before as well. Absolutely, yes.
And I honestly and truthfully, being honest, I think Bret bobbed when he should have weaved, and we wouldn't be talking about some things today. But anyways, no, I can't say that, man. I hate, like I said, it's sad because we did lose a lot, even with Stone Cold, Bret, Shawn. You know what I mean? That's 3 big names that we lost out of the Attitude Era almost immediately. Out of the Attitude Era. You know what I'm saying? Shawn got his back injured.
I mean, that's part of growing up. That's part of moving on.
Well, yeah, but their big reigns were so short. You know what I'm saying? Shawn's reigns were only from like 95, 96 to about 98, 99.
Yep.
You're right.
And then Stone Cold's was only about a 2 or 3 year, you know what I'm saying? And then Bret was right there with Shawn. Bret was a little bit longer because he had that, great tag team run and stuff too.
Yeah. I mean, injuries happen when you're in the ring, unless you're Hulk
Hogan. Yeah, absolutely.
Unless you're Hulk Hogan, you're going to get injured.
Yeah, but it just sucks that, because like I said, and then Owen, you know what I'm saying? There's just so much that we could have had, had it not turned out the way it did and everything. I hate it, but, I got to give it to Austin. As much as it's hard because they're 2 greats. I'm not a big Bret fan, but Austin, I feel like did a little bit more being objective, just like I think he did more with, HBK too. So Austin,
WWF champion.
Yep. I think Austin is by far the greatest WWF champion of all time.
Yes.
So we got Steve Austin on the WWF side, being the greatest WWF champion, at least at this point. And then earlier we did the AEW championship where MJF found his way through the tournament to be crowned champion. So we got the I don't have the names on the full bracket yet, but we have at least 2 of the names filled out. We have MJF and Stone Cold Steve Austin making the final 8.
Yes,
that's
sir.
right.
And we will be getting another couple of brackets up together with a show and everything. We will get you all the date and everything. But before we get out of here and everything, I don't want to keep you all too long. I want to get a kind of a final thought from everybody about what they
too
think.
long. It's been 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Well,
I told you these episodes go long. Man.
Another 5 minutes.
Listen, my show can sometimes go 3 hours.
Man, my grandpa used to tell people, well, I guess we're going to get to bed and let you people get on home
already. What the hell, guys?
Well, we just got to hurry up because I got to piss the next 5 minutes, whether you get done or not.
Hey, man, I stepped away to do that already, man. You're brave for sitting in front of the camera.
When you get my age, you get about 47 years old, shit, bladder, like when you think about peeing, you got to pee. There is no
I was getting ready to say, what's bound to happen when you get a bunch of 40-year-old men together, 40-year-old and up men together?
40-year-old. You guys are kids. You should be.
I'm almost 50.
Banging Quiff every night for crying out loud. What the hell?
I'm not. I wish I was a kid.
I don't even
got to tip my hat to that.
All right, let's get this final thought before I piss on myself.
All right. Well, actually, we will start with Uncle Slam and let him give us his final thought on Stone Cold Steve Austin for the WWF and MJF for the AEW.
As far as the WWF, I don't really have a problem with that. I honestly figured Hogan would have went a little bit farther in the tournament, but I'm not upset about it. I think Austin as far as a champion, is a perfect fit. As far as impact and the way he was. As far as AEW, like I said, I don't know a ton about it, but what I do know, I do think MJF is the future. I think that I probably would have put Moxley as number one, but I don't have a problem with it, like I said, because I think Moxley's time is eventually going to run out next couple of years, because I think he's just getting kind of a little bit stale with the same old, same old. I think MJF has definitely got a bright future. So, like I said, I'm happy with both.
Superfly Johnny Lee.
I'm happy with both because when you look at them both, those are the greatest champions of their each respective company. MJF, he's versatile. He's got a potential to be the greatest AEW has. Stone Cold Steve Austin, no one has yet to overtake what he has done in this business. Plus, he's got 3 Royal Rumble wins. Who else has that?
Who wants to go next? Andrew?
I'll go next.
All right.
I think the outcome for both of them was spot on. The WWF or WWE, I would have had a couple of different ones at the beginning, but I think overall, I think Stone Cold would have came out on top, even if you would have added Brock and CM Punk at the beginning versus a couple others. MJF, I don't think there should be anybody else in there. Again, I'm not a big AEW fan, so I can't say for certain, but from what I know about it, yeah, he is the face of AEW. Chris Jericho is, you can argue he is, and we have those as the final two, but overall, MJF is the best choice, I think.
JD?
Okay, yeah, I think both the brackets ended up likely exactly how they should have, which is always astonishes me when we do these shows. This is only, I mean, I did the TV title, the NWA TV title with you guys, and I was really surprised by how that came out in the finals. And when you look at the whole brackets and everything, that usually the right person comes through. That's why I like doing these kinds of episodes with you guys. The WWE side, I think definitely Stone Cold is probably the number one champion of the WWF. I think he did the most in terms of everything. He did the most, had the most impact, was better in the ring, cared about the wrestling business, and wasn't just selfish. I think Steve Austin's the best well-rounded person. And on the AEW side, I think the finals could have been a triple threat match. It could have been MJF, Moxley, and Jericho. I think Moxley's right up there with Jericho and MJF. I think those three guys are the I don't want to say the face of the company, because I don't know if AEW's really moved on in Jericho's absence. So I don't know that he ever actually gets to maybe one more title reign before he retires, but I don't think he's going to be. I expect to see him doing more story now than just going after the championship and going after the belt. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need it to be over. So I think Jericho likely starts sliding back and starts not being the main Carter, but just putting on some great matches with some great stories. Because Jericho is great at that. And I do think MJF is likely the one that's going to lead the AEW at least through, I think it's 2030 that MJF's contract takes him to. It's either 2028 or 2030. Tony Khan locked him down for big money. So will he stay after that?
No, he'll be done. He'll be done.
I don't know if he'll stay after that. It might be, he might be looking for that big WWE money if WWE wants to offer him the big money, because they didn't this time, or at least not the money that he wanted. So, but MJF is right now, he's going to be the future. We'll be talking about MJF regardless of company, AEW, WWE, TNA, it doesn't matter. We're going to be talking about MJF for the next 20 years. He's that good. And I think in the AEW right now, he's probably the best champion that they have or have had right now. So I think both the brackets came out the way that they should have.
Legend.
I agree. You can't argue Stone Cold. I mean, well, you can, but the only real argument there, I think, is really Hulk Hogan, and he didn't make it that far. So, I mean, there's no doubt Stone Cold is one of two names that is synonymous with the two biggest eras in the WWF's history. So it's not a slight to either one if one or the other makes it and the other one doesn't. So, good choice there. MJF, he is going to, like I've said before, he is my favorite champion out there today. I
Absolutely.
admittedly, just like Mr. Dillon and Mr. Slam, I don't watch a whole lot of AEW. I don't remember if you said you do, Johnny Lee. Everybody knows how AEW
I have
bleeds.
watched AEW a lot.
I
Podcast started out doing watch parties with the inside background while we interviewed.
I'll catch myself on a weekend whenever, I'm just got a few hours where I'm sitting here working. I'll put some on TV and kind of listen to it and stuff and everything as it goes through. And, stuff catches my eyes, and it's not bad or anything like that. I think the in-ring work is better than the entertainment side of it. But, that's not necessarily a bad thing,
No, they're not trying to be WWE. They want
Right.
the in-ring work. That's why you tune
Gotta
in
be
to
the alternative.
AEW.
Right. So, I mean, you can't go wrong, with MJF. He is the future of that company. He is that company right now. Jericho's about the only other argument in there that I see that you could do. I just don't see Moxley as being up there with a Jericho or an MJF. I like Moxley. I've always liked Moxley, but I always thought he was kind of the third tier in the Shield. I just thought that there was more talent. As much as I don't like Seth Rollins and as injury prone as he is, I thought there was more talent in him. I seen what they were trying to do with Roman Reigns. I didn't like the way they force fed him down our throat to where, but I got to give kudos to Roman Reigns because he just learned how to do it. What I'm saying, to the point to where he is now.
But it took
just like
8 years.
It did, and that sucks. But at the
Roman
end of the
Reigns
day,
wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't for Paul Heyman.
I 100% agree with that. But I think it's because he got Paul Heyman on his side. He learned how to cut at least a little bit of a promo, even if it's just a talking trash promo.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying a few lines, because this is a quote that I seen from Roman Reigns today, and it's just funny we brought this up. But he said, "They pay me like I throw a football. I'm the only guy that can say that."
Huh?
They're paying him like he's a quarterback. The WWF is paying him like he's a quarterback, and he's the only guy that can say that they're giving him quarterback money, because he makes like 12, 14 million a year.
That, you're right. Yeah.
I thought it was 15, honestly.
Well, yeah, like
he's getting $15 million a year.
Yes,
way overpaid.
Yeah,
for like 4. Hey, I can't help now. Here's
I'm
the
in
part
the wrong business.
That's what I was
y'all
gonna
are.
say. Here's the part I'm gonna argue the other side, because I got news for you. If somebody walks up to me and Uncle Slam and says, "Hey, we got $15 million a year for each of you. I need you to just every week get on here and do a podcast." Hey, Uncle Slam, what we doing real quick?
Shit, a ton of podcasts. What are you talking
Remember
about?
this.
I'm calling my boss and saying I ain't coming in tomorrow is what I'm doing.
There is a thing out there that says you're not getting paid for what you do. You're getting paid for the people who watch you do what you do.
Yes.
There's a big difference in the two.
Yes.
Michael Jordan didn't get paid to play basketball. Michael Jordan got paid for people to watch him play basketball. Same thing with Roman Reigns. He's not getting paid to wrestle. He's getting paid for people to watch him wrestle.
Yep.
Maybe I'm off a rocker here, but that's a big difference in the two there.
That's it. And I agree, but he found his niche.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I've got to give him a little bit of credit. That's just my opinion. That's why I can see why the argument is there that he's up there with a Hogan and Stone Cold. I'm not saying he necessarily carried it at two heights that they did, but he definitely elevated it and made it more interesting, especially with the Cody story and stuff like that. And it brought an audience back to it. So I can't dismiss it. If I had to put it on the rung, it'd be third. as far as big time, runs and stuff and everything. Maybe fourth was something that Cena did. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I just don't see it as being like the greatest. But anyways, moving on. So
Let me say
last
one more thing. Let me say one more thing, J Mac, before you just take us out.
I've got one more question for y'all before we take off.
Oh,
And I
okay.
apologize.
Hey, you
because
better hurry up. I'm about to piss. I'm telling you.
Go pee real quick,
I
and
was
we'll get
gonna
everybody
do
else.
I was
We'll
gonna
get
do one
everybody
last
else's
thing
opinion
before we
while
go
you
to the
go
exit.
pee.
All right.
Slim said you better hurry
And
up.
I promise this will be the last question and everything. But these episodes go long, but we've had them go 3.5 hours before.
That's fine. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying it. Thank you, guys.
I
no
went
no problem.
hours and 13 minutes before too.
Yes. So okay, go ahead and say what you wanted to say, JD.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure we give shout out to Darby Allin, who was the champion after we had already made our picks.
I like Darby Allin.
I think he maybe changes the AEW brackets had we included him. I think honestly it ends up MJF and Darby Allin on the finals of that. If
I don't think so.
Darby
I'm gonna be honest
He only
with you.
just want to tell
because he's
them.
got a great history, and he just became the champion. So yes, I do agree with that. But he's been in AEW since the beginning. He was one of the founders. And I think that he is going to be just like MJF. I think we'll see
But
Darby Allin
should they
for
have
many
squashed
more
MJF
years.
to put the towel on him?
The what?
They squashed MJF to put the towel on him.
Yeah. There's going to be a story with that. There's going to be something.
Okay.
Tony Khan's telling a story right now, dude. Everybody,
I just don't like the
for
squash.
the first 2 or 3 years of AEW's existence, everybody was like, "Oh, Tony Khan doesn't know how to do storytelling. He doesn't know how to do long-term storytelling."
He doesn't.
Now he's doing that. And people are like, "Oh, why is he doing this? Why is he making this decision? Why is he doing that?"
He's doing it, but it's not good.
I disagree with that. When you admittedly don't watch AEW, so unless you've turned it on in the last 6 months, then you can't really comment on the storytelling.
You're right.
You're right. But I have sit and watched 3 or 4 episodes in a row, and as a historical wrestling fan who watches wrestling, I've been able to kind of catch on to what's going on in that time period. And if some of it kind of don't make sense, then it just, like TNA, some stuff just didn't make sense. People were there and then they weren't there.
AEW has this problem with injuries, and that's usually the biggest problem when you see a wrestler who then all of a sudden disappears. It's likely due to injury.
Right.
The entire March pay-per-view card that they just had to be completely redone because they were out Kyle Fletcher, they were out Tony Storm, and they were out one other person that I can't remember.
But Tony Storm's not injured.
3 people. No, she's pregnant.
Yep.
There's
what?
People,
Really?
that's why she's not wrestling. Everybody's going, "What's wrong with Tony Storm? What's wrong with Tony Storm?" She's pregnant.
He's having a baby.
I think they totally dropped the ball on the Hurt business, though.
No, they're back.
Good.
They just came back. They're adding another member. They're adding another member. I don't know what. I think somebody was injured, and that's why they all stepped away. They didn't want to keep the Hurt business going without all 3 of them. I think one of them was
the best thing going for a while. The only thing going for a while.
I think, yeah, they're back. Like AEW, they do have a lot of injuries, and that is because of the style of wrestling that they put on. It is a different style than WWE. It is more dangerous. People are flying around the ring a lot more, and there's always a lot more people in the ring in AEW. WWE doesn't do a whole lot of those where there's 8 people in the ring at the same time matches. AEW does a lot of them.
MVP.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Up there. If Paul Heyman is a 10, MVP is a 7 or an 8. He's right up there. MVP is good.
Yeah, he's good. And he's great with the Hurt Locker.
He's very good.
Or the Hurt Syndicate. Sorry. Yeah, the Hurt Syndicate. Hurt Syndicate. They were the Hurt Locker in WWE.
Whatever they're called. Yeah.
They're the Hurt Syndicate in AEW.
MVP is good.
But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I shouted out Darby Allin because I think he's going to be a great champion and is a foundation of AEW too. But we had made our picks before.
Oh yes,
he was a champion, so that's why he wasn't on the list.
Well, and to be fair, I don't. Again, I know the name Darby Allin. I've never really paid too much attention to his matches and stuff and everything. But to be honest with you, I've watched my little marathons of it kind of after Sting was gone and stuff and everything. So
he's still finding his place after Sting. He is still.
Well, I know, but because he wasn't with Sting, I wasn't really paying attention whenever he was on. It wasn't nothing against him or anything like that.
After him and Sting broke up, he took like 8 months off. He had a broken foot. He healed his foot. Then he climbed Mount Everest.
Mount Everest, yeah.
Yeah, he took.
I
He took
remember
about
all
8
that.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took about 8 months off the TV.
Didn't he
after.
plant the flag on top
Yeah.
of Mount AEW flag on top of Mount Everest? Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
that's awesome. That's great. I don't care who you are, if you like him or
That's
not.
why-
That's just cool.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Darby Allin's he is an AEW loyal guy. I don't know that we would ever see him in WWE because Darby Allin's one of those fanatics, one of those wrestling fanatics. He loves wrestling and does not care about the money.
I agree with that, but at the end of the day,
for $10 if it's for the show.
Yeah, he don't care about his body. I mean, like, I don't think he's gonna make it that long though. Like, that's the only bad thing. Is like he's so
Shawn
reckless.
Michaels.
He
He
cares
was
about
Shawn
the money.
Michaels. big
Everyone
time,
cares about the money. I don't care who you are. You all care about the money. You say you don't, but you all care about the money. Everybody
I don't
does.
know, maybe we'll
that's
see.
it. At the end of the day,
Sting didn't.
everybody, the
WWE
$1 million
signed off on him
man
off the
said it
contract,
best.
never
Everybody's
went.
got a price. So if you don't care, JD, will you put the full bracket back up? Because I got one last question for everybody before we jump out. And I'm assuming
full one?
Mr. Dillon, our brand new member of the
Yes, sir.
Horsemen, you are gonna come and come back up with the other let me spit it out. The other shows.
I
and
can.
help us
I know.
decide.
I know nothing about the Japanese wrestling.
We don't either, so
I
it's
know
all right.
zero
Yeah,
about
we don't know
that.
shit.
I couldn't say anything
These
about it.
names I've looked up on YouTube and seen some clips. That's what I've had to base it on, and it was just what I know of the other ones. So don't feel bad. I don't know
only
much.
request I have is at the beginning of the show, let's put out the criteria of what you're looking for, so everyone knows, so there's no question about it.
Well,
Okay.
I think the way we're doing it though is just more opinion based.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
And it was great. How we did
Right.
that. You guys were phenomenal. The way you put it together was great. I can't applaud you guys enough. You've been great. JD, you're a little bit slow on putting everything up there, but other than that, it's okay.
I just spoke to CM Punk. He doesn't understand why you're a fan of his.
well, but that's what I love about it too, is because there's so many different ways of coming about this. Your way of coming about it may not be the same way I'm going to come about it.
Absolutely, yes.
And the way we come about it, like we were doing one time and nobody ever thought about this, but Uncle Slam, he came in and was like, he based everything on their wins, losses, how many times they held the title.
Yeah.
You know, so it went straight
Analytics.
statistical.
The TV tournament, you held sway with that a lot in the TV tournament. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, there's so many different ways to come about this. And I think that's what makes these so much fun, too.
I'm going
So-
to request get tag
go ahead.
team divisions up there somewhere.
So we
We
were talking
can
about
do
that
that.
before the episode.
We did one on headlocks, but I'm more than more than happy to do another one. And you know, I mean, we can always do more. You
Did
don't
you
have
do
to
a greatest
just
of all
one.
time tag champions, J-Man?
Yeah.
Yes. But the way
Cool.
we did it was we just did like 32 teams, everything meshed together.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All
You didn't get a
organizations.
or anything.
But we didn't separate organizations first and then go about.
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, we
Okay.
could always go about it. That is the way we're going about this too, and everything.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Tournaments.
Yeah,
So
I mean-
we're going to be doing more tournaments, and it's not just going to be wrestling content. For those of you who are still following us on the Four Horsemen of Podcasting, and this our episode 1, it's not always going to be wrestling. We are going to have other topics as well. So it's as we said before, it's not just going to be about wrestling. We'll be talking about real world stuff. We'll be talking about entertainment stuff. It's going to be pretty much a little bit of everything when we get into and doing these episodes. So we still have many more on the tournament. We
Yes.
still have 6 more companies on the tournament to go through. So those will be at least 3 more episodes for that. In between
And
those
then-
episodes, we're likely going to do an entertainment episode or 2 as well, while we're still doing the greatest champion of all time tournament.
Right. What I was going to say though, if you don't care, throw that back up there,
No.
and then I'll let you. We'll let everybody plug every little thing and everything too. Let everybody know where to go follow, share, like, subscribe, do all them things with the buttons and everything. What would we say? Drop kick the like button, and yeah, go drop kick it. But no. So my question is, guys, what out of what's left? And we'll start with Mr. Dillon since he's the newest member. Out of what's left, what bracket are you kind of eager to do with just looking at it? And I hate that you just came in and we don't have your picks in here.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. The only thing is, see, WCW. Other than that, I don't know anything about the Japanese. I don't know anything about the other one above WCW. I don't know what that is.
AWA.
AWA. I can't say I know much about it. TNA a little bit, ECW a little bit, but WCW I'm all in on that one. The other ones, not so much.
Yeah, not NWA.
And where's the NWA?
The
Very top left.
I'm looking at the
AEW.
I can't say no. I can't say no. No, probably not. No.
Okay. So he says he's ready to do the WCW next. JD.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of WCW. I've seen a lot of it, so that's definitely up there for me. I'm gonna have lots to say about everything in WCW, just like I did in AEW here. And I'm a little excited about TNA too. I think that's gonna be a very interesting episode, to be sure.
You're
Uncle
right.
Slam?
Who?
Uncle Slam?
Oh, my turn. I'm kind of like everybody else. I know a lot about WCW. I kind of grew up. ECW too. TNA, very little. I'm starting to learn a little bit more, but I would say my two favorites, besides the ones we just did, would probably be WCW and ECW.
Yeah.
And
I'm looking at the AWA right here. I don't recognize any of those names.
Nick Bockwinkel, Rick Martel.
Zabisco, okay.
Kurt Hennig, Larry Zabisco.
Lawler, okay.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler. Yeah. Johnny Lee, what are you looking forward to?
WCW and TNA.
Okay.
Well,
I mean, I would say that we kind of just voted, and WCW should probably be on the next show. What do you all say? If there's anybody watching, leave a comment.
I say WCW and ECW.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
ECW works for me. We will get a date on that, and we will let you all know.
In fact, based on that, I'd say WCW and ECW will be the next episode. We'll do TNA and NWA because they have a history together after that one, and then we'll round it out with the AWA and New Japan Pro Wrestling with the ones.
See, I would argue that NWA and New Japan have a bigger history.
You think?
Yeah.
I would argue that I don't know anything about either one of them. So
TNA started under the NWA banner. That's why.
But NWA used to do all those tours of Japan and stuff and everything with Flair defending over there all the time.
Yeah. Yes, but the TNA literally came from the NWA, just like the WCW came from the NWA and the WWE.
Everything came from the NWA, bro.
Yeah, well, except for AEW.
No, everything that's out today came from the NWA. It was the OG.
No, but I'm saying, listen, what I'm saying is WCW came out of the NWA. Like it was a member of the NWA. And
I understand what you're saying,
okay,
but so did WWE, so did AWA, so did ECW. Everything came from the NWA at one point in time.
The AWA was the opposite of the NWA.
No, NWA.
Yeah, the AWA was the competitor to the NWA.
Right, but the NWA was still first.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Gotcha now.
They were the first of everything.
Now that we're clear on what we were saying.
Everything came from the NWA. But no, sounds good. So what are we doing next? We got WCW and ECW.
Yep. And we'll look for the dates on that. We'll be sharing them out and follow everybody. Follow Mayhem Media, follow Popcorn and Whiskey, follow Headlocks Heels and Havoc, and follow Superfly Johnny Lee, the Superfly Experience, and follow the Nice Guy Andy podcast too.
Popcorn Whiskey, Mr. Dillon, you got any you want to help me out here?
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
you want to do the thing and tell people when your show is on?
My show is usually on Friday and Saturday nights. This week it's not going to be because I was on here tonight, of course. Tomorrow night I have WrestleMania. I'll be watching that, so I will not do a show. I'm not a fan of the watch-alongs because I can't watch along and talk at the same time. I just can't do that. I'm just not that.
I hate to hear that because that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow.
I know. I might pop in, but don't count on it. And
I hope you do.
I got family visiting tomorrow, for crying out loud.
I understand.
All weekends. Why do I have to pick this weekend? No, stay away. Yeah. Stay away from my house.
And we're doing the prediction shows. We'll be doing the prediction shows Saturday and Sunday at 5 p.m. So
I did my prediction show last night, but at 5 p.m. tomorrow I might come on if I can. If I don't have family here, crying out loud.
5 p.m. Saturday, 5 p.m. Sunday. We'll be doing the prediction
What time
shows.
does WrestleMania start?
6. Free TV on ESPN, whatever it is, ESPN, one of those channels. But then after that, you're on your own because I don't know how to get it outside of that. So
Is that when the matches start, or is that when all the pre-stuff?
The first hour of WrestleMania, both nights starts at 6. The second night, you're going to have Brock Lesnar and Obafemi starting off at 6 o'clock. So that's the one everybody's wanting to watch.
It's actually the cards, J-Mac. The card starts at 6. Their pre-coverage and stuff, which is apparently including their pre-show and their after-show. There's something like 9 hours of coverage each day.
The main card.
They actually started tonight at 5 on ESPN2. They had a pregame. That was pretty cool. I watched it. It's pretty cool.
I got to go and watch the Hall of Fame tonight, so we can talk about that tomorrow on the prediction show too. Okay. Uncle Slam, you're going to be there too, right?
Yes, sir. Did you know that you can actually bet on the WrestleMania matches?
Yes, absolutely. You can bet on anything. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to do this now.
Wolfman and Connor, the one and only Connor Clarkson, will be making his return to Mayhem Media tomorrow for the prediction shows. So he'll be there for part of the prediction shows also. I'm likely going to host it because everybody else is a WWE fan and I'm not. So I'm just going to host and let everybody else make their picks.
I hope you can keep up with the brackets, for crying out loud.
Listen here. Anytime you want to step in the squared circle with the enforcer.
Superfly. Superfly. Plug your stuff, brother.
Guys, come check me out tomorrow.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for having me on your show. It's appreciated. I appreciate it. You guys have been great. Thank you so much.
Also, check out my show tomorrow for Watch Party because we're going to be doing a lot of things. You know how we do it. Night 2, we got Sunday. We got 3 p.m. first. Before that, Chris Crow in studio to talk about his recovery. Then after that, we're doing Night 2 Watch Party where we're going to get down to nit and gritty and have a little bit of fun while we're watching these matches. And I'm looking forward to the Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar match more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. JD. All right, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you again. I'm out of here. We'll let you guys go.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. We will get with you about the next one.
Camera Gustav's rolling.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys. I'm out of here.
All right. Are we getting out of here? Are we closing out, J-Mac?
No, I thought I was waiting for you to plug.
Check out Mayhem Media. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, and we have the storefront, bonfire.com/store/Mayhem Media Shop, where you can see now that Andrew has jumped out. We have the Four Horsemen behind us. That's the logo, and you'll be able to find our new Four Horsemen apparel on the Mayhem Media storefront. That's where it's going to be located for at least right now until Headlocks and Johnny Lee and stuff get it on their storefronts as well. But for now, all of the different designs and variations will be available on the Mayhem Media storefront. And we've worked out a deal. Everybody's going to get percentage of the profits. Nobody's going to be taking advantage of anybody here. So pick up a t-shirt, support all 4 of us by picking up the one t-shirt, and tune in next time. Stay tuned so you can see when we are live again.
And don't forget to check out Headlocks Heels and Havoc every Friday at 8 o'clock. We do 2 shows, usually a guest, usually sometimes a topic, and we also do a recap every week about little news stories we pick up and everything. We're always making appearances with other people, our friends here at Mayhem, our friends, over at the Nice Guy Andy, our new friends. We just met with Mr. Dillon, his show. Check us out. Check everybody out. Remember, Four Horsemen for life. Johnny Lee, hit them with your line.
If you're not having fun, you ain't getting none. Damn, Skippy.
Uncle Slam, hit him with it.
I'm all tapped out.
JD.
I am your host, JD, and that's the end.
Let's ring the damn bell.